All right, here we go. DJ Akademiks, welcome back.
Back in the building, man. You know, I got to pop up on Vlad every couple of weeks to let people know what's up. Hey, you know, on my platform, off the record, you are the most repeat guest I've had. We've had so many interesting topics. You know, we're both, I like to call it hip hop media moguls, and I love when you get on my platform. What's the record for your platform? Because I think I'm gonna get there soon.
Well, there's Boosie, who started a long time, before we even met. So it's gonna be hard to beat that one.
Every time you go to New York, I'm here, man. So
You're right.
We'll catch up.
Hey, man, listen. I think what this group of us, me, you, Adam, Charlemagne, Sean Cotton. Like what we've built in terms of Math Hoffa, of supporting each other's platforms, all of us being cool in our own way. I show up here, they show up on my platform, I show up on theirs, and so forth. We talk, we share business advice. Yeah. You know, if something drops in my lap that I think that you could financially benefit from, I'll hit you for it. Adam sent me stuff that I financially benefited from, and vice versa. We give each other, we all have different ages, so there's certain perspectives that I have, being in a little bit longer, that I share. And this is really like the blueprint of success. And everyone out there, all these platforms that are dissing me and trying to put me down, they're the ones who are losing. Because
people are dissing you, Vlad?
All the time. We'll get to it.
Really?
I got a few shots I'm going to take.
No way.
We're going to wait until the end. I don't want to waste the early part of this interview on these bums.
All right, man. What's going on, man?
Well, look, I was just on the Breakfast Club. Shout out to Charlemagne and Envy.
You should be on camera with me.
You know?
You're hot in the streets.
I've done a lot of press recently.
I've
done a lot of press.
I'm going to start off hot by saying, first and foremost, it's criminally, it's criminally, you're criminally underrated in the interviews you do, and also the fact that you haven't been acknowledged properly for the documentation of certain periods of time and certain stories. You are the guy who always gets the story right and in depth beyond a Hulu documentary, beyond a Netflix documentary, beyond the fluff of like a movie that ends up being in theaters. And watching your videos is what's really giving me, and I've went down many rabbit holes, like when the whole, Alpo and all that type of stuff and Paid in Full. I really figured everything out from your channel, right? Like this whole Biggie and Tupac thing, and me and you, we've been cool for a while. You've always said, I solved it. And the whole time I was like, man, I was like, you clearly, I thought that was you showing your age a little, Vlad. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, Vlad, I know you're like really interested in that time period still, but like, if they've never solved it, it ain't gonna be solved. You get what I mean? Like, there's 20 million theories when you Google it, but no one has really singularly pointed out like, no, this is the only thing that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And recently, I just had that moment where I just looked around and I was like, wait, this motherfucker Vlad actually had the story right. I thought it was DuckTales. No, I'm not kidding you. So,
yeah, I feel you.
This week I've been like binging on your videos trying to figure out every single thing that has been probably discussed many different times. Like, for example, like, was Big Meech there? Like these are like rabbit holes that I'm like going down now, which I think, you're probably seeing a spike in viewership and all that type of shit right now.
All those videos around the Keefe D Tupac story have all done really well. We've done flashbacks around it and everything else like that. But yeah, you're right. 4 years ago, I had the whole story. I put it together with all the different pieces from different angles, and it was all laid out. And I told people, like, the case is solved. You don't have to worry about, did Suge do it? Is Pac in Cuba somewhere? Is whatever? It's essentially solved. As you can see by what's happening in Las Vegas with the Keefe D arrest, it all pretty much matches up. Shout out to Greg Kading, who actually got the original confession, but we put the whole story together and we popularized it and had millions of people watch it.
I thought it was cap because there was no arrest. I'm like, ain't no way that a person is describing an actual murder of one of the most high-profile artists of our time.
The most high-profile artist of our time.
I
No,
agree.
really. Let's just keep it 100.
I agree. And he's describing being in a vehicle that was riding next to it or pulled up next to the car, and he's telling detail by detail. He's telling what before happened. Even, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a few people on like that you've interviewed, which obviously, again, you just know the story way better than me. And this is why you're like top tier, one of one in what you do. Like, I remember watching like back in the day one of the Keefe D interviews you did, and as soon as he said, oh yeah, I talked to Diddy, I just cut it off. I'm like, this thing is just saying bullshit. I didn't even think you really knew Diddy. This is how like I'm thinking like this is so detached, people just making up stuff. Then I'm like with the Biggie thing, they're saying it's cops, they're saying it's this. Like the whole Tupac thing, some people say it was Suge Knight, which didn't make sense to me, right? Because
Suge's in the car.
Yeah, if I'm with you, right?
Right.
Like if I'm the fat dude with the skinny guy.
Right. Would you put a skinny guy in the car and hire someone to shoot the skinny guy?
Yeah, nah,
in the same car?
Hell nah.
I mean, Suge got hit. Suge got grazed.
Hey, these dudes are shooting sideways. The hell would you like?
Right. Pow, pow, pow.
Yeah, why the hell would I?
The whole car was riddled up. I mean, I interviewed the first responder, Chris Carroll. He showed up. He said blood was gushing out of Suge's head.
One of the things that just everybody forgets is that Suge is shot in the side of the head. And like you said, he thought he was dead. And when I was looking at Suge, I couldn't believe that this guy was running around like nothing's happening while he's got this hole and the blood flying out of the side of his head, and he's just, like nothing's going on. But
yeah.
I mean, does that make sense to you?
Hey, and again, that's what I'm saying. All those interviews, which by the way, I think it's, you took an interest in, this is why like your channel's a 101. And by the way, there's a few other channels, I think, to be honest, I think they've taken the mold of VladTV.
Of course.
In terms of taking interest on certain really historic stories and going down those rabbit holes. And like, for example, you're interviewing like dudes from the gang unit. You know what I mean? And like before I would be like, yo, who the hell are these dudes? They don't have a name. But now when the story really gets hot and erupts, I'm watching their interview. Why? I wanted to know what they thought at the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to know why they didn't make the arrest.
Right.
I want to know what's happening now. So,
Well, no, I mean, a friend of mine actually pointed out something interesting because if you follow my career, what I got known for in hip hop was the Tupac Rap Phenomenon mixtape. It was like, it got mixtape of the year.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've got the plaque that you walk by when you walk into the studio is the Just Those Mixtape Awards mixtape of the year for that Tupac mixtape.
Oh, shit.
So I went from making Tupac mixtapes to helping to solve the Tupac murder.
It was like, how I wanted to, like, so I was watching you, you did an interview, I believe Bomb First. And, while you were, I want, how surreal is it talking about the case? But not only that, I'm wondering when you're interviewing the Keefe D, you love Pac, right? Are you like, motherfucker, like, I feel a way because I'm talking to probably the reason why he's not here.
Well, you got
like you do keep it fair,
you have to detach yourself. You have to detach yourself. Listen, I talked to the guy who was involved in killing Michael Jordan's dad. I don't respect that act on any level.
But you don't have a connection to Michael Jordan's dad as most people have to Tupac Shakur. Like his music, a lot of people felt like we knew him. Some people felt like he was going to inspire a change. Like he's so intimate to a lot of people because of the music he made that, put it like this, like I came over here in like 2001. So when Pac is like, I'm in the countryside of Jamaica somewhere, but even learning about his music afterwards, like I love Pac. Like I feel like I knew him.
Yeah.
I felt like his energy still exists today. So it's like, it's personal, right?
Right. Well, I mean, Pac is like what I consider the next generation of Bob Marley. Not only did he have great music, but he had a message and he stood for the struggle and he really believed it. It wasn't just a marketing ploy. Like Bob Marley stood for the struggle. His songs are the soundtrack of the struggle.
Yes. Get up, stand up.
Get up, stand up. Fight for your right.
Yeah.
Don't give up the fight.
Of course.
Those types of songs. Zimbabwe. There's a whole catalog of incredible Bob Marley music. So when you go around the world and you see these Bob Marley murals on project walls and stuff like that, this is what you see with Tupac. You don't see Biggie murals all over Africa and all over Europe and all over Asia, but you do see Pac murals because people, it runs deep. It's not just a hot song. It's not just pop music. It's the soundtrack to the struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what Pac had, and that's why people connect so closely. So, but when I'm interviewing Keefe, I mean, look, it's the story, and it's not like Pac didn't play a role in his own demise as well. At the point that you put your hands on people, anything goes after that. There is no rules of engagement once you start putting your hands on people. You know, like I told you, like, you know, when I had my whole home invasion situation, you know, I remember I spoke to the guy afterwards. He was like, oh, why did you do this and that to me? And I'm like, you jumped in through my fucking window in the middle of the night. Like, you expect me to somehow have a rule book?
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared for my life. Like, you know, you're pretending like you had a gun. Like I don't know what the fuck is happening.
I'm surprised you gave a conversation. You told me I should have blew your head off.
Well, it was basically, he was worried that I was going to testify against him.
Yeah.
So I was explaining to him that I'm not going to testify. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we're done. I don't want to keep this beef going for the rest of our lives. Like, we're done. But at the point that Pac...
You're a good guy.
Yeah, man.
Wait, the motherfucker like... Oh, hell no. Wait, you ain't testify?
No. That's why he...
Hold on,
that's why he ended up
getting
getting probation. He ended up not doing any prison time.
What?
He was facing a bunch of years because it was like terrorist threats, you know, home invasion, like...
and you went... What?
Yeah, I didn't testify against him.
Vlad, come on now. Like, listen, come on now, Vlad. Why not? You tell me why not.
The reason why I didn't testify against him is because he was hurt really badly. Like, I thought he was dead walking out of the room. He took way more. No, listen, but he took so much more damage than I took that I figured we were even.
Oh, hell no.
That's how I looked at it. I'm like, we're even, so why am I going to spike the ball and then show up to court and then send him to prison on top of it?
But have you ever thought about if you weren't prepared, if you didn't act how you act, there was a pretty decent possibility you could have died.
I could have died. Yeah, I know. I think about that.
And he would have been doing the same thing to somebody else.
Or no, he'd go to prison.
Well, I mean, if he got caught, well, I guess
he would have gotten caught. You know, he was the ex-boyfriend of the girl who I was with. He would have gotten caught.
Fuck the back door.
You know what I'm saying?
The back door, man.
He would have gotten caught. But my thing is like, the one thing I learned from reading the 48 Laws of Power is that when you win, you stop. You could turn a victory into a failure by continuing to mess with the person that you just beat.
Wait, could he walk today?
Yes, yeah, he walked.
Oh, hell no, man. He could have did like 10. Could have done 10.
Yeah,
could have done 10, man. Yeah, he owe you something, Vlad.
My thing was that ultimately, when it came down to it, I had some cuts and some scrapes and some bruises, but he got really messed up. And to the point where I thought he was dead. I left the room thinking there was a dead body in the room. You know, I mean, that's how badly.
Was he on a shitbag afterwards?
I don't know. I've never met him afterwards. I just had a phone conversation with him afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the girl put us on the phone because he was worried that I was going to testify against him because he was facing all these years.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, we're even. You did what you did, I did what I did, and we're done.
That's kind of honorable.
I'm an honorable guy, man. Like,
hey,
just like when Las
Vegas,
Vegas,
it's still honorable to me to put that nigga in jail for like. Hey, listen, I'll tell you this. By the way, I never told you this.
Okay,
you know I had a situation, right?
A home invasion.
Yeah,
let's hear about it.
It didn't happen, but it so. The girl, so my girlfriend at the time, her friend came over, and like to make a really long story short. I guess my girlfriend's friend came and was like, oh, shit. I usually don't allow nobody at my house. But, of course, my girlfriend's like, this is my best friend. Know her from the fucking, you know what I mean? I know her since birth. You know what I mean? I knew her since the incubator. Like, yo, we could trust her. Because usually I have certain rules and certain protocols. I think we all do.
Yeah.
And the one time I went against mine, and I said, all right, cool. Whatever. And, you know, chickens pressure me. Oh, whatever. Like, yo, you can't treat her like randoms. I allow her to come in. I'm not taking phones. You know what happened? She had hit her boyfriend before she came because, you know, her boyfriend's like, wait, why are you going to so-and-so? She's like, oh, I'm going to hang out with my best friend who's dating so-and-so. This chick is dating a career criminal. You get what I mean? They're not like, oh, have fun at his house, then come back here and we're going to do some crimes together. They said, oh, great, let's rob him. right? And of course, she's like, okay. Anyway, one night, which stuff was already off, she looks at me. She says, yo, first of all, I'm giving a tour of my house. I got a music studio, everything in my house. She sees the studio and she said, yo, y'all want to record music? Let's do music. Let's record music like tomorrow night, whatever, right? Tomorrow night comes, whatever. She comes, she's in the crib and she's like, there's other people there, but she's oddly super tired. I said, I thought you wanted to do music tonight, right? No, I'm going to bed. Wait, it's really early. I'm going to bed, okay? Leaves. Goes to her room. All right, whatever. Anyway, later that night, and this is by the grace of God, I get alerted by my girl who's like, yo, why does it look like a car kind of backed up because I have security cameras like in every room. Well, not every room, but especially where I'm at. It's always on. So I could see a 360 view of everything around my house and inside the house. But they were like, there's a car that oddly, this is like 4 a.m., that oddly kind of came, whatever. Now, and I'm pretty sure where you live at too, but where I live at, because when you live in wealthy neighborhoods, you are used to and I know people, not this I broke niggas, but this is reality. Y'all hate the cops, I love the cops. Police do their rounds often. Yeah. You know why? A lot of people have multiple homes. People go on vacation. So what happens is people will break into homes that's empty. Mm-hmm. So, and theft and car thefts was definitely up. So police usually do their rounds very frequently, especially my neighborhood, right? So I'm thinking it's the cops. I'm like, oh no, we're, based on where we're at, I don't want to dox myself or nothing. Oh, sometimes the cops, blah, 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 blah. But then I look a little closer and I can't really tell and make out. But, she's looking at the camera and she says, yo, there's a guy who's running up.
Whoa.
Like, what? So, by the way, when she had mentioned that too, and yes, this is the type of guy, man, I don't know what camera is on. When she had mentioned that, the car was a little bit odd, I said, that's kind of all right. I was calling the priest. By the way, I live in a town, they know everybody. So they know me by first name. Like, it's a small town, huge houses. It's not one of them joints where they're like, yo, who lives there? They know it as a fact. So I was calling to be like, hey, do y'all have like a deputy or somebody who's, kind of, because it seemed weird because they kind of was trying to go in the driveway, but then they backed out. Right when I'm calling, she's looking at the camera. She sees a guy hop out. And then she sees another guy hop out, trailing that guy. Huh. And I'm on the phone with him. I'm like, so I'm asking him, like, hey, is that y'all? Then my chick screams out, yo, 2 dudes is running up. I'm like, what? So now I look at the camera. One is holding an AK-47.
Damn. Okay.
And the other one's holding the other one has a Glock with a switch. And essentially, again, if you know anything about like just really on the East Coast, car thefts is huge. It's been up. But I'm like, usually those dudes, they know the law so much, which is like, for example, there's a law like in Jersey where I live at. If you go to steal a car, as long as you don't brandish a gun, it's really a slap on the wrist. That's why they try to steal cars. Like, they'll let y'all say name, right? So the dudes, sometimes they'll be armed, but they never show the weapon. These dudes, they have a AK-47 and the gun out. Also, I have, so they run by where my cars are at. I'm thinking they're going to try to steal a car. They run past the car. Now, again, I'm in the house and I'm like, all right, whatever. The police, they're on their way already.
Oh, so the police said they're going to come check it out.
Well, I'm on the phone with them as this unfolds.
Oh, so you're telling them what's happening.
So I'm like, hey, is that y'all? Blah, blah. My girl says, yo, there's 2 dudes running up. I'm like, oh shit, never mind, it's not y'all. Y'all need to get over here. About to be a situation.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing 2 dudes run up. I'm like, all right, whatever. But it's odd to me. Really odd. The way they're running up to where I'm at is not where you would normally run up. They're not coming front door or whatever. Actually, ironically, they're running to the back door. But they run specifically past other places that could be points of entry. Anyway, they get to the door, right? I'm at this point in a position where I'm like, you have like, hey, I know I just need probably 10 minutes, pretty much 5 before law enforcement get here. But that's why, everybody who...
But still a long time, though.
Yeah, it's still a long time.
A lot of things could happen during those 10 minutes. Yeah.
But still, at that point, now I'm bracing for this is a situation, right? They try the door, try another door, and it was odd because I think they also heard noise coming out from the house, but they ran back to the car. They ran back to the car, and luckily in time, because the police was coming right then, they took the police on a 120-mile-per-hour speed chase. The police called it off. That's how crazy they were going. They got away.
Oh, they got away?
Yeah. This is how they got caught. So the police comes, and the police says, I'm mad at the cops. I'm like, yo, I pay too much in taxes. Yo, when you paying like $60,000, $70,000 a year in taxes, motherfucker, when I call y'all should disappear. So I'm like, yo, so I'm asking him, I'm like, yo, this is exactly why most people try to handle stuff themselves and don't really go to law enforcement. They were like, no, when we were on our way, we were there. We saw them coming out. We chased them, but we call it the chase off. So now I'm even more mad. So I'm like, you let the motherfuckers that tried to run in on me go? And basically, they have weird laws. So, after a certain point, they're like, yo, it's about safety. And then apparently they're saying it was, apparently in Jersey, you have to tell the police that you see a weapon. That's the only way they will pursue till the end. Otherwise, they'll just let it go. They don't have a chase law. They have this new mandate about chases. Anyway, so the police comes, and instantly they're kind of like, yo, I'm gonna be honest, this is probably an attempted car theft. They're trying to steal tens of cars every night in this town. They want nice cars. Some cars are really easy to steal. And I said, nah. So I have the security footage. I pull it up. I said, well, they ran past the cars. I said, what? I said, they ran past the cars. Now, this is when stuff started happening.
Well, but there's also guns in the footage that you can show them, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
As they're, whatever, they're like, all right, cool, they're going to get fingerprint, whatever. They see a car in my driveway, which is not my car, my girlfriend's car. I see them get defensive. They look at me and they walk up and they said, who is from Virginia? I said, why does that matter? They said, the car we just chased had a Virginia license plate.
Huh.
What? They said, the car we just chased 110 miles per hour. They said, the great thing, we got it replaced, so it's fine.
Yeah.
They said, that's another thing that's odd.
So they used their regular plates in an attempted house robbery.
That's another thing that was odd. They said the people who usually steal cars never have their regular plates. They said,
exactly.
Oh, this plate came back to somebody.
Yeah.
So we're going to get him. Here's how the story gets interesting. While this whole melee is happening, remember that girl that went upstairs and went to sleep? Mm-hmm. Never woke up. Actually, no. Didn't wake. It's not about waking up. Never came out the room. There is commotion happening. Everybody who's at the house is out of the rooms preparing for what could be eventually a really serious situation. Does not come out the room. Everything is a lot of adrenaline. You're not thinking about it in the moment. You're thinking like, this dumbass motherfucker just oblivious, right? Here's where it gets even more interesting. When they say that about the car, I'm like, huh? The police says, that's probably not coincidence. And the car that we scanned is just stolen.
Mm.
So what the fuck? So they were running to a specific door. I start going through my my security footage. Every if you step foot in my house, it's recorded. I don't care where you're. Only the bathroom is recorded. I'm trying to figure it out with them because it's confusing. By the way, there was one time somebody tried to steal my Lambo or something like that. So like, it looked different than that. I'm looking at the security footage, and I look at the security footage around that door that they tried, because they came to a specific door. 2 hours later, the girl who said she went to sleep wakes up, goes down to that level where that door is, walks straight to the door, opens the door, because everything is locked, usually locked. Opens the door, makes sure it could be accessible from outside, and goes right back to the room. The only way, the only reason why it was left open, her best friend who wasn't in on it, which I'm dating, right, or was dating, before she went upstairs, because she went outside to like smoke or whatever, before she went upstairs, you always do a door check. She locked it back.
Or else those guys would have gotten into the house.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Did you have your guns ready and everything?
Vlad. Hey, listen, Vlad, let me...
Right. And I'm saying this because academics like myself have legal guns in our houses. You know what I'm saying? This is not I'm not trying to implicate anyone,
Vlad,
but yo.
put like this. Listen, I don't know if it's paranoia. I kind of call myself a collector now. I have over 50 guns in my house.
50 guns. My God.
I'm not playing.
I don't have 50 guns. I've got a few guns.
I buy a new handgun every month. Well, Jersey has different laws, so you're only allowed to buy one handgun per month. I get permits all the time. Second Amendment right, I love it. Yeah. I'm actually about to show my collection, because obviously not all are for home defense. Like I have a sniper rifle that costs like $8,000. You know what I mean? That could shoot people from a mile away. Obviously not using that. But, you know, I'm going to show off that collection. I don't know how YouTube is with that or whatever.
Yeah,
but
no, YouTube and guns is not great. I remember when I went with the Colin Noir, we did a whole shooting thing. We actually went to like a shooting range where you could legally shoot automatic weapons.
Yeah.
And all that shit was demonetized.
Yeah. And let me tell you this. That experience taught me so much. First of all, like, you know, you get all this money. You know, just like if you're a rapper, you get all this money, you run in the streets, you probably should get your car bulletproof. But also, you, in any type of situation where people are going to be jealous and envious of you or might try to do some shit, might want to have a safe room at your crib or something. Mm-hmm. Also, you know, I seen this, and I don't want to dox that person either, because, you know, again, when it comes to where you live at, it's really, I think it got to be protected. I've been to certain rappers' houses that have full-time security sit at the gate all day, armed. All day. Like, hey, that's your only job. Which, by the way, these niggas is talking shit. Makes sense. They ain't pussy. Makes sense, though, because you got to sleep. And when you're sleeping, you have somebody who's paid to sit there, and every car, everybody needs to be getting intercepted. You got to put buffers in because, again, man, people out here broke and hungry, man. And, you know, like, again, so I'll tell you how they got her. So once that happened, they went upstairs and got her. Like, she was still in her room.
So they arrested her.
Yeah. And, you know, essentially, they found all the proof of what the plot was. You know, of course, no, I love the idiots of the internet.
She was like texting him and everything.
Well, forget all that. Well, she thought she deleted it. Like, oh, let me do it on Snap. You know, I love people who think, oh, nah, this is invisible. I got the Telegram. They told me, they said, we hit the warrants. We got everything. So she apparently she was casing the crib. Like, when she first got in there, she was taking pictures of telling them how the interior layout was. That so they knew exactly where to go once they got in, but then was texting about, okay, I'm gonna open the door, blah blah blah, da da da. Like all that was in messages. The other dude they got from, I think they hit so many warrants. That's why I got to salute to. I don't want to say my town, but they did an amazing job. They executed so many warrants: Snapchat warrant, Instagram warrant. They basically had all the communication. That's how they call these guys. Like, you know what I mean? The boyfriend hit up another nigga via Instagram. Like, yo, we finna go rob some people. We robbing him. Just at me. Just
on
like
Instagram.
Yeah. No, but you know, you want to send it so nobody can find it, right? I love it. I love it.
Oh my God.
But yeah, those dudes, I want to do hard time. I ain't got no time for that. Yo, Vlad, you a good guy. Hell
okay,
no.
so what happened to him? They got arrested and then they get convicted? Plea deals? What happened?
They're both incarcerated.
Okay. How long ago did this happen?
This happened in September, over a year ago. September 2022.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you were definitely friends during that time. And
so the girl, which by the way,
she got arrested too?
No, yeah.
Good.
She's conspiracy. What the fuck? You know what I mean? They got arrested. But here's the thing. they got mad other charges from where they from, like Virginia. Them niggas was shooting up everywhere, like, so they got like 15 other shooting charges. But eventually they're gonna have to come here and do either plea or go to trial or whatever it is. But Jersey's not one of the places that's too favorable on people who have crimes with the use of weapons. So,
well, yeah.
Vlad, I'm not too nice like you.
Well, but you have a different situation. You actually, for me, it was sort of almost of a crime of passion. It was like this dude was upset that someone else was fucking his girl.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And then he came in, he got fucked up really badly, and my thing was
okay, that's a little.
I'm not trying to send him to prison and penalize him even further, because I figured look, we've never seen each other. He's never tried. I don't really know what he looks like, but you could look up this case. It was in Culver City, California.
I could look up my situation.
Yeah,
they put that shit in.
People say I'm lying. You could literally look up the case. It's public record. You know what I'm saying? But my thing was, I am not going to spike the ball, continue to try to punish the person or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just people like, oh,
yo, Vlad, I'm gonna keep it a being with you. In this case, they don't need my testimony because everything is caught on camera. Thank God. Right. But
You're still
I think
I
volunteer. I feel you. I got to Charleston White this one. Hold on. I think I got something to say. I think I got to do that.
Well, they could have potentially murdered you. With me, there were no guns involved. And,
okay. That's different.
Yeah. I mean, he acted like he had a gun, but they found out he actually didn't have a gun.
Nah, niggas running your house with switches and AK-47s. Man, put it like this. This is how a lot of people think, even like a P&B Rock situation. Yeah, the goal is to rob somebody, but a lot of times these guys who are doing it, they get overzealous. Even with the Pop Smoke thing, they'll even shoot you just to let you know.
Yeah, anyone who resists, you potentially.
You don't even have to resist. It's be like, hey, listen, I know he's not gonna tell me where blah 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 is, so let me just shoot him in the leg instantly. That now he knows I'm really serious. Yeah. You die off of that. You get what I mean? So it's like, I don't play about home invasions, and anytime I believe, just truthfully, any person, man, woman, child, alien, I don't care who, if they enter the place that you reside, you should be able to kill them where they at and bury them. Agreed. I have no type of sympathy for people like that. And I can't have sympathy for these niggas neither.
Listen, I agree. I mean, we talked about the BTB Savage situation. I was like, this situation hit so close to home when someone tried to invade his home. And by the way, his girlfriend is doing interviews now.
Yeah, she was trying to do it on me. By the way, this thing happened after that, right? I thought, I remember I was about to tell you on our interview, but then you started telling your story, and I'm like, damn, Vlad got a story too.
It's more common, man, than people think. I mean, home invasions are fucked up. And, like I said.
And by the way, here's the thing too, it's like, to kind of put this in perspective for a lot of people who may have not experienced that, hopefully you never. If you ever had a car that's been broken in, you feel just violated even if you keep driving.
I've had my house broken into when I was in high school.
In a situation like that, you're paranoid. I wake up about every hour and a half looking at, I have all type of motion detector. If a deer runs on my property, it's like, yo, hey, check this area. For real. Because you're always on this level of attentiveness now because you're always processing that it could have went left.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, there was a whole situation between Hamas and Israel. With the whole attack, where a lot of people, hundreds of people in Israel got slaughtered. Then there was attack on Gaza. The Palestinian people are in a really bad situation because of it. So I made a tweet about it. I said, has anyone noticed the most famous Jewish person on earth, Drake, and the most famous Palestinian person on earth, DJ Khaled, haven't said a single thing about the Gaza-Israeli conflict? It's not like Drake is too busy. He's been writing paragraphs about Joe Budden hurting his feelings about his new album. DJ Khaled has been working overtime promoting his new Jordan sneakers. Both of them have been silent on this topic, though. Why is that? It's because both are so thirsty to maintain their relevance that they wouldn't dare risk insulting a segment of their fan base. Heaven forbid that Drake might debut at number 2 behind Taylor Swift because some of his Palestinian fans chose not to stream his album. It would be the end of the world if Khaled sold a few less sneakers because some Jewish people decided not to buy his Jordans. That's the difference between artists of today and timeless legends like Tupac. You know damn well Pac would be the first one to speak out about something that hit so close to home. This one's super viral. 3 million impressions.
Yeah.
Everything is culminating and so forth, and it culminated in the Breakfast Club appearance, where we talked about it and we argued it out. personally, what do you think about this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know what's going on. Like, so. Number, I feel like I know a few like just overall things that's supposedly happening. I really don't know about all the intricacies and really the full history of what's going on. Here's the thing too, and this is why I've been trying to get more educated. I'm watching a few documentaries and some other things, but also in situations like that I don't know that intimately. I always have to really invest my time in terms of media and how I'm going to get this information. Like, for example, if you're only watching if you're only consuming U.S. media, right? After, I don't know, whether 9/11 or any other type of war that we've been in, we're always good guys, right? And this is just how a lot of things is. Like, hey, these are the monsters. They're killing everybody, blah, blah. But also, these things kind of happen on both sides of the fence. So for me to understand, that's what I'm saying, I don't fully understand yet. I need to understand, I got to go into their media and see what they're saying. Right. Because I think the U.S. is aligned with certain people.
The U.S. is aligned with Israel. But listen, there's two sides to this. And I've been very clear about this because I don't want this to turn into like a Jewish versus Muslim thing. Yeah. Because both parties are wrong to a certain degree. I'm not a fan of the Israeli government, of Netanyahu. Yeah. And what they did to the Palestinians in terms of Gaza, they essentially blockaded. Once Hamas became the ruling party of Gaza, and Hamas is considered a terrorist organization. So essentially, Israel blockaded that whole area, and there's 2 million people living there. So it essentially became an open-air prison. So you have all this kind of anger building up over the course of 15 years. So I understand how the Palestinian people are getting fucked up as well. But my thing is that Khaled is Palestinian. He's not saying anything. Stand up for your people. Kehlani recently did a whole video where she was like, what the fuck is wrong with all these entertainers? Like, talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about your point of view about it. You don't have to sit there and throw people under the bus and make up a whole bunch of bullshit, but I'm saying, talk about it. Drake is Jewish. He was born to a Jewish mother, which according to Jewish law makes him Jewish. At 5 years old, his parents divorced, and he lived in Forest Hill, which is a Jewish neighborhood in Toronto, with his Jewish mother and all of her Jewish relatives. He had a bar mitzvah. Some bar mitzvah. He had a bar mitzvah. He had a bar mitzvah, which I had as well. Which at 13 is the ceremony you do where you become a man. Well before he was a rapper, well before he was an actor on Degrassi, he was a Jewish kid. And you don't say nothing. You're dissing Kanye, but you don't say anything when he goes on these Hitler rants. Because I think that Drake doesn't want to, somehow piss off a portion of his fan base that may not be too fond of Jewish people or whatever else. So he just doesn't say anything. And I'm like, that's weak. That is weak to me.
I'm not surprised he didn't say anything because when Kanye West, said things that people deemed as anti-Semitic, he didn't say, hey, listen, as someone who's a representative, this is how I feel. And also, I don't like you neither. So I'm definitely going to speak up now. That's personal. That's really personal at that point. Drake or Kanye already don't like you. Then Kanye basically starts talking about the Jews and you still don't address that angle. So he never addressed the anti-Semitism angle. Never. And because of his, silence there, I understand why he's not speaking up. Now, do I agree with it? Again, I think holding these artists to the level of where they're more than just it's a circus. They're just here to make us laugh for the moment we consume their content. Most of them don't stand for anything.
Look, Andrew Tate insulted Canadian men. Did you see that whole thing?
Yeah.
He said, oh, men in Canada? That's not a thing. There's no real men in Canada and so forth. And Drake responded, green light on Andrew Tate. So he's going to respond when Canadians are insulted because he feels like he's repping Canadians these days. Mm-hmm. But his whole Jewish heritage, he don't say nothing about it. You're Jamaican. Yeah. If something really messed up.
I'm getting active with Jamaica now.
I'm saying, if something really messed up happened in Jamaica.
No, of course.
wouldn't you say something?
Of
Don't you
course.
feel that that's your job with the voice that you have?
No,
and your voice is not as big as Drake's.
Well, I mean,
your voice is not as big as Khaled's.
That might be just a personal thing. Like, for example, salute to Angie from the Shade Room. Angie has used her platform. She's Nigerian. She's used anytime there's, any type of crisis or whatever with Nigeria, you see the Shade Room start posting a lot about that.
As
and by
she
the way,
should.
Why
As
is that?
she should.
Because that is her heritage and that is where she's from. With me, I'm always tapped into what's going on in my country. Most of my family lives in Jamaica.
Exactly.
If there's a crisis where people are dying, that shit is going to affect me. I can't just act like nothing matters. But maybe that's just my sensibilities. I would have to say something. You get what I mean? I mean, shoot, like, people look at my page. Shit, I'm the guy, like, read one of my captions when Jamaica wins something in the Olympics. I'm hyping it up. It's
Right.
lit. So again, there is, and if I would celebrate that, if there was something that needed to be addressed on a serious level, I'm also going to extend my voice to that. I do think when it comes to Drake and Khaled, it's probably also a concerted effort of not trying to isolate people, right? It's like, okay, if I say something, what will it even matter? You get what I mean?
It will matter because you literally have over 1 billion fans from all walks of life who are trying to figure out what this means, and you could offer some level of direction. And it doesn't have to be anti. You know what I'm saying? I am not anti-Palestinian. I really feel bad for the Palestinian people who don't have a home right now because Hamas chose to do this insane attack on Israel and killed 200 people, including like 20 Americans. They're all homeless right now and without electricity and are forced to evacuate their homes. These are good people. I've been to Palestine. When I went to Israel, we went to Palestine and I had dinner with a Palestinian family and we talked about sort of the logistics and how all this works and how messed up it is and so forth. These are good people. People like Napoleon, Trey D, these are Muslim friends of mine.
All right, let me ask you a question though, right? So if Drake, which I think he will, if he puts up on a story, which he's been really active on a story,
right?
Man, I'm praying for everybody overseas who are losing their lives over senseless violence, and he keeps it just like that, right? I'm praying for everybody in the region.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Because I think that's another thing that people might.
It's a start. It's at least acknowledge. It's like using your platform to acknowledge this.
Well, here's the thing. You're saying it's a start. He, like, sometimes, entertainers is like for example, even LeBron, right? Like,
LeBron says something.
Yeah, LeBron says something, but I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I said in regards to LeBron saying that? Well, ain't it convenient, LeBron, that you could speak up on this, but then you're not speaking up on anything with China because of the NBA's association with China. So now we put LeBron under the microscope of you have to speak up on everything. You got to pick. Like, I think that's where Drake kind of doesn't want to get in that realm of where now he says something. Now people are like, so who do you think is right, or what do you think should happen?
So you don't say anything because that's the safer way to go. That's the safer way to go. But you got to understand, Drake did a Free Larry Hoover concert with Kanye.
Well, a little arm twister,
But he still did it.
Mob ties.
He showed up. Yeah, Jay Prince had a hand in it, but he didn't have to do it. He don't have to listen to what Jay Prince tells him. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to do that.
Okay.
If he even said, oh, Jay Prince got me doing shows my ops. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he did a show to Free Larry Hoover because people are like, oh, Drake doesn't talk about black issues either. No, he did a Free Larry Hoover concert. That's dealing with black issues.
So let me then ask you this. Okay, what you've mentioned about Drake and, obviously childhood and traditionally growing up, yes, he is very, embedded in just Jewish culture. Like,
yes.
I mean, he is Jewish.
Yes.
Have you seen adult Drake ever since he's been on, other than like Hell Yeah Fucking Right, where he actually he basically does like a whole big video where it's kind of like almost like a
bar mitzvah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he does a bar mitzvah video.
But in the last like 5 years, do you feel like he's, like I wear the fact that I can't wait to tell people I'm Jamaican all the time. Like we might be just talking about the Caribbean. I'm gonna just throw it out there. I wear it on my back. I love telling people. It's like an identifier for me, right? Do you think that Drake at this point is trying to is he wearing the fact that he's Jewish on his back? Not saying he's not, but I don't think that, I think he's gone away from trying to be hey, this is the Jewish rapper. And I think, again, I'm probably shooting him hella bail, which I know I am, but I'm trying to understand why he wouldn't speak up because you're asking a question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because he's like, hey, it's not like I've identified myself. Like, for example, if something happened to the black community and if Kendrick was over here arguing with bloggers and people like that, you're gonna be like, Kendrick, you ain't gonna say nothing, brother? Kendrick, first of all, we identify you with this, and this has kind of been a staple of your career. I think Drake just doesn't, he probably has feelings towards it, but he probably just doesn't say anything because he's like, don't look at me. You're the only one that pointed out. You made it hot for Drake. Drake gonna be mad at you. You gonna get like a good paragraph bar. Right?
He hasn't answered. I mean, Drake has gone out of his way to comment on everything that Charlamagne has said. And actually, there was a girl named Samaya who they were talking about the new Drake album or whatever, and he commented on her. But my interview has gotten 30 times more views than Samaya's interview on The Breakfast Club, and Drake hasn't said a goddamn thing. And he's seen it.
Of course, but here's the thing too, right? Which, first of all, I do think cancel culture is on its last legs. I think it's out of here. But I do think, like, for example, I'm gonna be honest with you, there is a lot of people, like for example, me, I'm not necessarily connected to what's happening there. A lot of people are giving the advice to, hey, listen, just stay out of it because you're gonna say something. First of all, you don't even, like, people like me, we barely even have the full grasp of what's happening. But a lot of people don't say anything because they don't want to offend A or B, or they're actually scared of, well, if I say this, I'm now going to be just seen as like, I hate these other people. So people don't really know how to handle these situations. Like I'll even go one further. I remember when, even sometimes like the ADL, right? The Anti-Defamation League, they had gotten at a few people for some comments, regarding regarding Jews. And I think it was like they had gotten at people who said stuff like, oh, Jews are cheap. And they were like, yo, that's hate speech. And it got to the point, I did Flagrant 2. The Kanye stuff was just, Kanye's tweaking. But I remember I was just like, damn, obviously, like, I love everybody, but I don't ever want to say the wrong thing that they lump me into this anti-Semitic thing, because for everybody they were seeing, if you're anti-Semitic, you're done.
Well, yeah, I mean, remember it happened to Jamie Foxx, which I thought was blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, they hate, they got, a guy named Jesus too. And they're like, oh, he's talking about the Jews because the Jews killed Jesus, whatever. He's like, no, it's just a general term. He's not talking about, he's not talking about the Jews. He's just saying they killed Jesus.
You think Jamie, at that, like, after the backlash he went through, probably didn't think, dog, if you could avoid speaking at all in reference or even directly about Jewish people, please do, because there is no benefit from it. You know what I mean? It's like, if there's no benefit to it, why speak on that? I think that might be partially what's happening and why you don't see more people speaking out.
Well, this is going to be the first stray bullet here. When I was, looking at social media and everything else like that, because I just did the Breakfast Club, so the Breakfast Club clips are circulating, and Charlamagne posted up a clip of me talking about this on the Breakfast Club. I'm scrolling through the comments, and I see a comment from Rashad Bilal. He's one of the owners of Earn Your Leisure.
Oh, okay.
And, I've seen Earn Your Leisure do their thing. I actually reached out to him at one point to do an interview. They didn't respond. That's cool. But, it seemed like they're doing interesting things. I'm always big on pushing financial literacy and everything else like that myself. So he leaves this big comment on Charlamagne's Instagram. He said, when referring to me, he said, Vlad asked Drake to speak as a Jew, but never asked him to speak on black issues as a black man. He's done nothing beneficial to society, only highlights gang tales and provide a space for people to tell on themselves. He's not the one to tell anyone what they have to do. Okay. Let me go ahead and respond, Rashad. You want this smoke? Let's go ahead and do it. First of all, if you actually watched the interview, Rashad, I talked about Drake doing the Free Larry Hoover concert. Drake has been speaking about black issues.
Hey, listen.
That's a big stance.
I think he might say, well, the Free Larry Hoover situation ain't a black issue. Like, police brutality would be a black issue. Free Larry Hoover is, like, with all due respect to the family of Larry Hoovers, is an individual that they're trying to get out of jail, but it's not necessarily for all black people, right?
Okay, fair enough. But it's still a prominent black figure in the black community. Larry Hoover has been a name that's been ringing bells for a long time, and it's a black man who's incarcerated forever that he actually did a free concert for and donated ultimately probably millions of dollars that went to Larry Hoover's defense fund. So when I saw this comment, I saw this name sounds kind of familiar. What do I know this name from? So I looked at my DMs.
Oh, nah.
I looked at my DMs.
Oh, nah. Vlad with the throw. This is the real flashback.
This is the real flashback. Back in 2018, Rashad was ripping my videos and putting them on his Instagram page, cutting out my logos and putting his own big, huge logo on there.
Which, by the way, if everybody knows Vlad, that's the big no-no. A lot of y'all content creators come to me like I'm like, hey, Vlad is a very reasonable person with content.
Yes.
You can't just rip his entire interview. You leave the logo. Like, you see that little VladTV logo? You gotta leave it.
Yeah.
Right?
The logo was cut off. His big, huge logo was on there. And I ended up striking one of the videos. He responds like, yo, we still want to use your content. Can we work with you? We really want to repost your stuff. And I'm like, no, thank you. You guys are reposting and ripping my videos and cutting out logos. And if you continue to do it, I'm going to keep striking you. But yet, I don't have anything beneficial on my platform, but you're stealing my videos. He has some sort of little personal issue because I wouldn't let him steal my videos for you to push your own platform. But you're sitting there publicly bashing me. You know, and look, earn your leisure. At the end of the day, look, I'm all into pushing financial education and everything else like that. But these guys charge hundreds of dollars to do these, these events. And, you're basically paying for their leisure. At the end of the day, they're paying for their leisure. Hundreds of dollars to go to an event, to have a bunch of celebrities.
I'll shoot them a slight bill, though. Hey, because I've been looking at this little financial literacy. This is a realm that's like filled with scammers. And I think, I don't want to say for definite, I think they're one of the good ones, though. Like, they're one of the good ones. They're helping people.
Listen, at the point that you start trying to trash trash me.
Yeah.
Because you're mad that you can't steal my videos. And at the end of the day, let me just say this, okay? I understand what they're doing. If they're putting money in their pockets, whatever. I've interviewed over 1,000 millionaires. I've never heard a single person say, I made it because I went and spent some money and went to a conference and learned about financial whatever. Not a single person has ever said that. You're paying for their leisure at the end of the day. And to go and try to downgrade my platform and say, oh, all people do, there's no benefit fit to it. All people do is tell on themselves. No, we have one of the biggest catalogs of, important people of this era that we have documented. Life stories from John Witherspoon, Smokey Robinson. We just did Johnny Gill. We've done Ricky Bell. We've done Mike Tyson. We've done a lot of people. We have a catalog that they will never match up to. So don't ever downgrade what the hell we do, okay? Ever, ever, ever. Just because you're mad over some other shit. Because you're not fucking with what I'm doing.
No, I'll say that was definitely targeted. Like, saying that Vlad contributes nothing, you wouldn't keep the same energy about everybody in the platform and also even looking in the mirror yourself. You get what I mean? And it's everybody. It's like, hey, listen, you could disagree with Vlad. You could, quote, unquote, call yourself calling Vlad out, saying, hey, Vlad, well, why didn't you keep the same energy? I think those things, obviously you're going to have your response to it. But saying that you have only, hyping or hyped up gang issues or whatever tales that we're talking about is what I know people do when they're trying to just diminish and belittle me. And they'll be like, oh, they'll throw like some negative aspect and be like, this is all you are. That's not true.
He's just war in Chirac. That's it. That's all he does.
Yeah, that's just not true. It's like,
it's not true.
And it's for everybody. It's like, I'm much more than that. If you can't find yourself seeing some good that Vlad did, you're already biased.
Yes.
You're already biased. You get what I mean?
But you're using my content. You're using financial, that I interview people about finances. Ask Lil Bibby how many millions of dollars he's made from our conversations about stock investing.
Oh, that's true.
Ask Lil Bibby.
You
seriously.
You know that's Well, you put me. Well,
I put you on that as well.
You put me on.
How
that,
much money have you made?
I'm doing.
Have I ever asked you for anything?
No.
Have I ever said, no, hold on. Have I ever said, hey, listen, I'm going to teach you this stuff, but buy my $100 course. Go to my $100 conference. Have I ever said that?
No.
Have I ever said, listen, I'm going to teach you this, but you got to go through my company so I can take a little cut of whatever you earn? No. I just showed you, this is how I learned, and this is some of the things that I've done to make money. Let me share it with you.
I heard you talking about it.
Whatever you run with it, whatever you make is yours. I'm good with it.
I heard you talking about it a lot of times on your own channel.
Yes.
You had an Instagram account.
Vlad Stocks.
That was
where I have literally for free, without charging people a goddamn penny.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a goddamn penny. I've put out information that have helped thousands of people make millions of dollars.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever said this to you. It's because of your explanation and how you made it you explained it like, hey, listen, it's accessible for you to invest.
Yes.
That's why I ever got Robinhood.
Exactly.
Because of you.
Exactly. And I'm happy. I've had these type of conversations with lots of people in the industry. I've never asked for anything. I've never put it behind paywall like Earn Your Leisure do and stuff like that. Like, I get it. Mostly poor people that they're targeting are thinking that they're going to somehow learn the keys of success by seeing these rich celebrities talk generally about believe in yourself, hard work, and all types of general type stuff. I get it. If y'all making this money, cool. But don't try to downplay what I do and what I've contributed, because I've contributed a lot over the last 15 years. And clearly the fact that you're ripping my videos while you're trying to build up your own platform.
And by the way, everybody has their own hustle. Like what they do, I don't knock them as long as they're not scamming, right? But what people sometimes don't see the importance in what people like you and I do, right? Is like especially you, you have documented this culture, and to them it might not feel like that's important, but you've documented this culture in a way that, to be honest, I think is award worthy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Thank you.
And if you think that doesn't give, sometimes people, they'll be asking about what you contribute. You know how many times, and I'm pretty sure you know this too, people come to me and be like, hey, because of your streams, I understand a little bit more of the music business. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I want to be a manager. Oh, I couldn't rap worth a lick, but you've told me other ways I can get money in this music business.
Right.
People have watched you, got so much inspiration. It's just throwing. It's basically just being biased and saying, yo, you're worthless.
Exactly.
Usually everybody, if you have been around for a while, you had to have contributed something.
Of course.
You had to.
Millions of people don't just tune in every day.
Exactly.
For useless information. You know what I mean? Let's talk about another one of one of my haters who's actually one of your haters as well. Lamont Hill.
Oh my God. Hate that guy.
Let me tell you something. I actually extended an invitation for Mark to come on my platform some years ago. We had a conversation. I mean, it got interesting. We debated. He had some good points. I had some good points. But ultimately, it was a friendly conversation. We put it out. It got a lot of views. And then after that, he's just been talking shit about me for years. Most recently on Van Lathan's podcast. Van Lathan actually called me. He was like, yo, but what's going on with you and Lamont Hill? Because he just bashed you all on my platform. Do you want me to take it out? I'm like, nah. Ain't no one listens to this bum. Put it out. Hasn't even hit anyone's radar. But Lamont Hill, from this point on, has a new name. It's Mark LaFlop Hill. Because he has flopped in everything he's ever done.
You're hitting the nail
Fox
on the head.
News. Flopped. CNN. Flopped. MSNBC. Flopped. Court TV.
Get him out of here. Flop, man.
Star
That's
Jones.
Yeah.
Flop.
Get him, Vlad.
Our World with Black Enterprise. Flop. Yeah. He was the anchor for Black News Channel.
Yeah.
It went bankrupt with him being the face of it.
Yeah.
He flopped the whole business.
Hey, and I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, it's upsetting, especially you see, at least that might even be more upsetting for you because you had a very reasonable conversation with him.
Yes.
And then he started slandering you.
Yes.
With me, I felt like he was either going off perception of me and he wouldn't talk to me and he would just slander me crazy. And I'm like, but here's the thing. What you just mentioned is exactly why people like Lamont Hill.
Mark LaFlop Hill.
Yeah, Mark LaFlop Hill.
Thank you.
He doesn't like people like me and you.
Right.
Because, these are guys who are journeymen in the media game. They think because they're well-spoken and eloquent and, they have all these connects and they rub shoulders with, and You know, the only thing they're good at doing is sucking dick, okay? They know how to get another opportunity after they get kicked out of the last building. Okay,
Right.
key card don't work? I bet. Let me send my little LinkedIn thing. They're going to get another. That's all he does.
Oh, yeah, he's a great tax write-off.
Put it like this. If the vitriol you see from people like that towards you and me is because they know that your voice isn't only amplified based on the opportunity you have at the moment. Your voice is amplified by a brand you built yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them dudes, I'm telling you, I see, it's not only him. They feel like they should have, their voice should be as amplified as you, or they're one of those people behind closed doors, they'll be like, yo, man, if I have Vlad's channel, man, I'll be raising these issues and I'll be talking about this. Vlad has this channel, all he's doing is blah, 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 blah. You see, people say that about me too. Yo, how'd y'all let him get to this level or have his voice this elevated? I work for it, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Who put academics in this position? Who let academics?
For it.
No, you worked for it. That's the whole thing.
Yo,
because I know it kills Mark LaFlop Hill that people like me and you are 1,000% more impactful than they are. And to them, it's like, I don't get it. I have this look. I went to this college. I have all these accolades.
Their name only rings on Twitter.
But nobody cares. He's a Twitter account that people care. That's it.
Their name only rings on Twitter. You
Exactly.
see, their opinions never generate revenue. They were never a businessman.
Never. He had zero business. His only gig that I heard he still has is hosting Basketball Wives reunion shows.
Really?
That's what he does. And you know who the real victims are, though? His students, because he's still a professor.
Really?
That's who I think the real victims are. Because these young men and women who are trying to get a good education while their lame-ass professors out chasing dreams of media.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure they're not getting a good education.
You gotta hang it up, gang.
Because the flop is out there trying to chase these media dreams.
You gotta hang it up. You gotta hang it up.
Yo,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I definitely, and I'm gonna tell you even how personal that dude went with it. I seen him describe me in a way which we've never communicated. And I knew that he, like, mostly why he was even describing me in such a way is because, maybe there's just a perception about me, like, oh, you just say anything about acting. I really said, man, like, as a man, if you put no effort into understanding me, you don't know me, and you're talking about me that personal, I'm like, yo, if like we run into each other, like, I told him, I said, bro, I'm gonna spit in your face, dog. Like, real talk. Like,
you told Mark LaFlop Hill you'll spit in his face.
I tweet. I don't give a fuck. Listen, here's the thing.
I would love to see that.
The way how personal he got. And by the way, I'm not no aggressive type of dude, but it's like the way how personal this dude is like I fucked this bitch and his mama and his grandma. Like, he been going, like, I seen him say something about me and I'm like, yo, dog, you, like, I could understand if you, like, you really trying to, like, engage with me. Bro, you just talking a whole bunch of bullshit, man. Like, so now, and I get disrespectful, but I have to take it there with somebody like that to even, I don't even know why, honestly, I don't even know why I even talk about a nigga like that.
Listen, man. Mark LaFlop Hill has made multiple false and defamatory statements about me. I remember when that fake story was running around about how...
Oh, he's gonna jump on that.
Yeah, like how the judge thanked Vlad for Arab's conviction, which is a fake story. He jumped on that story.
Yo, there's a part of Twitter that have a few leaders, and let me tell you this, these are niggas who are on the corner. This is the digital version of them. Mark Lamont Hill is one, Mark LaFlop Hill is one of them.
Yeah.
He's on the corner with his cup, and he's like, yo, drop a penny in it.
Yeah.
Why? He has the little megaphone that he thinks is reaching loud, but it's only reaching to across the street.
Exactly.
And he has a few people with him, and he thinks he's...
You're the man, Mark.
So, play this. When they see an article, it could be a fake article, which it was. Yo, the judge thanked Vlad. He's going to be the person that quote tweets it.
Yes.
Hey, I've been telling you this since 1994. This is why you should have been listening to me, not Vlad.
And LaFlop, be very careful here, because what you've said online is standard defamation. Yeah, and you don't have the money to fight these types of cases. I do.
Yeah.
Our financial levels are very different, LaFlop. I have the money to go after. Don't make me take that little teaching salary of yours.
You can't even
go buy a new car with it.
You can't threaten the dude. So I'll tell you one of these. So I'm talking to my legal representative. Someone's definitely slandering, and really, it was definitely, again, textbook defamation.
Mm-hmm.
My lawyer says to me, okay, what's your end goal in this?
Yeah.
They have no money. Okay? They have no money. Okay? You're not getting no money out of this.
Yes.
Now, we could push the issue and get an apology. We could really make it uncomfortable for this person.
Well, they'll have to spend legal fees.
Yeah. Or like if you think that we could check on the forum or the platform that they're saying these things on, maybe we'll involve everybody into it. We could probably get them shut down. But the first thing is why, like I kind of stop and let certain people just live, like because their voice isn't loud. If you're not making any sizable income, your voice ain't even loud enough. Why the hell am I suing you?
Right. Like
Mark LaFlop Hill, he's gonna retweet or quote tweet that. Get 1,000 retweets, and that's his payment.
Yes.
That's his payment. That's the cup. That's like, okay, cool. All right. Anybody?
Right.
Y'all like the backflip I just did?
If you want to know about how much Mark LaFlop Hill makes, let me put it like this. I recently monetized my Twitter.
Yeah.
Right? I recently monetized it. Shout out to Megan Cuniff, who showed me how to do it. Megan the reporter. That tweet I told you about Drake and Khaled that has 3 million impressions.
Yeah.
I just got a payment for that. $178. 3 million impressions will get you $178. That's Mark LaFlop.
Place. I tweet way less than him. My shit always jumping. Like I think they pay me like $800. You know what I mean? But it's right? Like again, okay. You know what I mean? But he's going hard. He's like a Twitter warrior.
Yeah.
He's one of the reasons why that woke cancel culture shit happened, where it was just like he's soapbox culture for me, right? He's the guy who he always tries to point out the flaw in you, while you don't know too much about him or even have too much of his stance, and also it's coming from a place of jealousy and hate.
Right. Also, Mark LaFlop Hill is a punk, because I remember seeing the Bill Cosby documentary, and he was on there talking about how when he approached Bill Cosby dissed him to his face, and he didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? He said something years later in a documentary, but when it was happening, he just stood there and let Cosby disrespect him. I wouldn't do that shit.
Man,
he's a punk. Straight up and down. So LaFlop, go ahead. I know you're going to run with this. I know you're going to use this as your platform to get more tweets and make an extra $38 on Twitter. So go ahead. You want this smoke? We got it for you.
Hey, I'm telling you, I have a list of them. All losers.
Yes.
They're still thinking this is like 2011.
Right.
As long as they get 1,000 retweets, that's their payment for the day. I don't know how they pay rent, but that's their payment.
That's their payment for the day. Okay, recently, the BET Hip Hop Awards.
Yo, stop.
Young Miami has won Best Hip Hop Platform for 2 years in a row. After only dropping 4 episodes since last year.
Clean sweep, man.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep, man.
Nori said something, as he should, because I think he co-won that award last year.
Yeah.
And, shout out to Nori. Me and Nori are in a good space right now. Congratulations. He's gotten some very dope interviews.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me and him may get up and do something in the future, but he mentioned something. Nori has done his thing. You've done your thing. You didn't even get nominated. You know what I'm saying? No, listen, I understand as a white guy, I'm not going to get a nomination for Black entertainment television.
If you don't get nominated next year,
listen, all I got to say is, if you want to talk about interviews, name a more important interview than Keefe D in 2023.
Vlad,
no, seriously.
Vlad,
I'm just going to say, name a more important interview.
I'm going to be honest with you. I actually agree with Carisha winning. I reviewed the content. I mean, she was asking some hard-hitting questions. That's what I call journalism media. She was talking about who she asked. She asked Trina about getting peed on. That hit different. It did hit different. Once I heard that, I said, this is why she has to win. I'm gonna give her credit because here's the thing. What I've realized, there's a route of a lot of these female entertainers that kind of come out with this trashy, like overly provocative sexual music. They get burnt out really quick, which is kind of like how it is in the neighborhood, right? Like the hoe come on the block and she get burnt out real quick, and then you look for the next hoe. So we go from the city girls to we get the Megs, we get the motherfucking Glorillas, we get motherfucking Sexy Red. It's the degeneracy always continues. By the way, I love Glorilla. But anyway, here's the thing. After they're not, because the city girls ain't popping like that no more. Let's just be
You heard
honest.
about the new album title?
What is it?
RAW. And that stands for Raw Ass Whores.
Again, here's the thing what they're running into. Y'all too rich now. Sexy Red seems more ghetto. We only like the ghetto version of y'all.
Oh, yeah.
You get what I mean? And that's
you're not gonna out ghetto.
Yeah,
Sexy
you can't
Red.
out ghetto her.
She got you a lot.
It's
Sex tape and all.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna knock Carisha because I think she realized music don't hit the same no more. Let's pivot. She's doing clearly like some hostings and she's doing the podcast. In terms of the award, and let me stop being like, sarcastic.
But let me ask you, were you at all bothered that you weren't even nominated? I mean, listen, shout out. Let's just take a look at the nominations.
I was 2 years ago, I was really upset. And I realized, I said, listen, in your life, anytime you've ran into a problem, you never sat there and complained and kept running into the same problem. You either made a way around it or you found a way to deal with it. It's always been that way. So 2 years ago was the last time I was upset. Whether they award me in the future, I don't care. You know what I've said to myself? They ain't nominate you when you're the hottest shit out. Either you make your own award show or give light to another award show that actually highlights you, that's more accurate to the culture, or shut up about it. So when I see it now, I just hit the LOL button.
I mean, look, the nominations this year, all hip hop. Listen,
shout out to Grouchy Greg, but come on.
Grouchy Greg, you know what I'm saying? This is a platform that was, I supported, that was around way before VladTV.
I used to post their forums.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, they've done stories on me.
IC. I used to be on there.
Yeah, when I was a mixtape DJ, they did stories on me. Probably the longest running independent hip hop media platform that's still around today. I have respect for what they do, but moving the needle, you can't say that all hip hop moves the needle very much. You know what I'm saying? They have their own following and so forth, but they don't put out a lot of original content. I've never seen all hip hop trending for anything. But
no exclusive.
$1 million worth of game. Okay, I think that's a fair one. Joe Budden.
Wait, by the way, I think they need to separate. And let me let you read this. Go ahead. Just read this.
$1 million worth of game. Gilly and Wallow. Okay, that's a fair one. Me and Gilly don't talk, but it is what it is. Joe Budden. Our history is long and convoluted, but Joe definitely is a strong voice in what's happening right now, and he deserves to be in this list. Drink Champs. I agree. Rap Caviar doesn't make any sense because Rap Caviar is a playlist, right? So I don't even know why the hell it's on that list. Double XL, beyond the freshman issue, has absolutely no relevance in our culture. Name something outside the freshman list that Double XL has contributed to hip hop in the last 5 years. Name me an interview, name me a story, name me anything outside of the freshman list.
Them and Complex used to make like lists, but we don't even care about their list no more. Like a list on Twitter goes more viral. No, you're absolutely right.
Hip Hop DX, listen, me and Tommy are cool. We've had some issues over the years, but we're still cool. Once again, Hip Hop DX is an established platform, but what have they done? They're aggregators of other, just like all hip hop, they're essentially aggregators of everyone else's content, which I don't expect VladTV.com to get nominated for anything because we just aggregate content. But the YouTube channel is the YouTube channel. And finally, The Breakfast Club, which I believe should be on that list. So literally half the people shouldn't be on there at all. So is how I believe.
This is what I think. First and foremost, award shows are usually really, sometimes they get antiquated real quick and they're really clunky. This needs to be separated. First of all, podcasts are so influential, that should be its own category.
Yeah.
A podcast technically is a platform, but it's a podcast, okay? Just by the nature, everybody has a platform. A rapper has a platform. You're going to just put a rapper on there?
An Instagram channel is a platform.
Yeah, it's just, so again.
Twitter, someone's Twitter account is a platform.
Exactly. So again, I think podcasts, like for example, $1 million worth of game, Drink Champs, Joe Budden's podcast, they should be competing among themselves.
I agree.
When you're talking about platforms, and we're talking about hip-hop platforms, the conversation should clearly be among platforms. It's not, you see, it's not even personality-based. If they said, we didn't nominate you, but it's not your personality, it's your platform. All right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then it should be VladTV's platform, not Vlad. It should be No Jumper, not Adam.
Yeah.
Those are platforms, right? Carisha, that's a show. Okay? or really a podcast.
Right.
How is this like think about it like this. When I think about the biggest and best platforms in the game on a media level, I'm thinking about where and who breaks the biggest stories. Who is the person where their content is changing the media game? It's going viral all the time. They're creating content. They're reporting stuff first. They're breaking news. That's what a platform is. Like, for example, no one would say, okay, the biggest, I don't know, like if they're talking about, the biggest sports platforms and they say,
First Take.
Yeah. And then they just throw Stephen A's name in there. You know what I mean? So again, it's like, we should separate it, but I'm going to be honest about the BET Awards. If there was ever a time that you guys are at home and if, there was a time that I believed in, the Tooth Fairy Tale. I believed in Santa Claus, right? And there was a time that I really think that these award shows were supposed to really nominate the one, right? And by the way, I know some of y'all probably thinking about y'all Viewers' Choice Awards, okay? Y'all thinking, let me keep voting every day. It's all cap, okay? Listen, these are handshake deals. These are all conversations that's happened before. Hey, could you show up to the award show? If you do, we'll give you the award.
Right.
Hey, well, this person is into it with this person. Let me ask you this question. I want to ask you sincerely, Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
If Diddy isn't, well, he's not dating her. If he isn't having sex with Young Miami and her show doesn't come out on Revolt, do you think she gets nominated?
No.
What does that tell us?
Exactly what everyone is thinking right now. It's the Diddy Awards. It's the Revolt Awards. I mean, I get it. Listen, and I know she's upset because she's just doing her job. I don't think she was the one involved in trying to manipulate this or anything else like that.
She's getting the Iggy Azalea treatment. Remember when Iggy Azalea was getting best rap album or best, like she was getting like best rap, and everybody's looking like, and then she's in an awkward position.
Macklemore winning best rap album over Kendrick. Yeah,
Macklemore, he played it right. He said, I should have won. It should have
been him. Yeah.
So it's definitely awkward for Young Miami. I don't blame Young Miami for that. Like the wheels that are turning in terms of making that happen is beyond her. But those are the power people in the game. The reason why me and Vlad don't get those type of nominations is because, bro, we're independent media. And there is, like, again, people don't realize that, let's say the Grammys. If you watch the Grammys, I believe it's on CBS, right? Is it, or ABC? Either one. Whatever station has the Grammys, it's one of the top 5 most watched programming for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they really up in there like, yo, let's really get the best, let's award the best people, or do they say, let's make the best TV?
Yeah.
People keep forgetting that an award show is a TV show.
Yeah, like who's going to show up? Are we going to nominate? Are we going to have a whole bunch of winners who are not coming to the show?
Kanye West exposed the VMAs before. He said, yo, they literally just say, hey, if you come, we'll give you the award.
Wow, he said that.
Yeah, he said it on stage years ago.
Yeah, man, listen, like I said, me being white and this being a black entertainment television thing, I get it. I don't think Adam will ever get nominated as well, and he has a very big platform. But you not being on the list is criminal. And I'll just say that. You being on the list is criminal. Math Hoffa not being on the list this year is criminal.
I think, I have a strained relationship with BT. And I think as independent media, I don't know for sure, so I don't want to just say it definitively, but I think as, I keep calling what me, you, Adam does, independent media. As we became bigger within our own right, it really showcased the obsoleteness of BT. It's not in their best interest to highlight us when we are working against their bottom line. Yeah. Every viewer we take away from, like, again, I go to a lot of people's cribs, they don't even have cable, right?
Yeah.
They like,
I don't have cable.
Put it like this, I seen the viewership count for like one of their shows and it was like 100,000 people. Real talk. If you look over a span of 10 to 15 years, and these executives, that's how they look at stuff, right? They're watching the viewers dwindle. Yeah. Where is it going? It's going to us, right? You think they're going to be like, well, we're doing an award show. We got to keep it fair. Let's just highlight the fact that all of the people that used to watch us are watching them.
Yeah.
It's not feasible. So when I look at it like that, I completely get it. And that's why, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm just like, just don't spit in the air and let it fall on my face and call it rain, right? At least if I get it, you not nominate me. But bro, Carisha, please, dog. Like, come on, dog. Like, at least if you're going to do the finesse, make it believable.
Yeah. Well, you said Young Miami's only talent is pimping men.
That's fact.
And she responded. What was her response?
I forgot what her response is. What did she say?
Hold on, let me look this up. I thought you would already know, but clearly your mental Rolodex is filled up with more important stuff.
I'm into it with so many people.
Let's see. So she went into the comments and said "Bati boy."
Oh yeah.
Which means homosexual in Jamaican slang.
Which I thought was very just ironic. So first of all,
isn't her best friend?
Case in point. So
what's his name again?
Saucy Santana.
Saucy Santana. You know, have I ever told you my Saucy Santana story?
What type of story, Vlad? What type of story, Vlad?
What type of story? Okay, I'll tell you the story before you go on.
Okay, just as a side note.
As a side note, right? So
he's a dude with the BBL and the beard.
Yes,
this is crazy,
and heels. Right.
Yo, you know what's beef with him? And then I caught myself. It was like, yo, you look stupid. Yo, you know it's one of those, I'm like, yo, if you win, you lose. And I caught myself looking so stupid. I'm like, I'm beefing with the dude with the BBL and the beard. And then I just realized, I'm like, yo, you got it. And I hate to bow out. Actually, let me not even say bow. You got it, brother. Okay? Or
you got it.
I don't know what pronoun he uses or she or whatever.
Well, listen, when we reach out, it's so funny because people try to sometimes clown us when people don't do interviews with us, but we literally reach out to hundreds of people sometimes a month. And, you know, the majority of them either don't respond or they say no or whatever else, but we get enough to actually create a lot of very dope content. So Saucy Santana was starting a bubble. So we reached out to him.
Starting
a pause? A bubble? Yeah. Is a bubble
Saucy
a pause?
Santana, the dude with the PBL.
The bubble.
Oh,
okay, there we go. The bubble. Yeah, okay,
oh, nah.
I get it. Bubble.
I ain't trying to go camera on you, but pause. Like, come on, bro.
Okay, so Saucy Santana, we reached out to Saucy Santana, you know, not me personally, but my assistant, Kente, reached out to Saucy Santana, and they didn't answer. But then Saucy Santana posted on Twitter, it was like, oh, VladTV wants to do an interview with me. I'm scared with all these, like, you know, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So it wasn't a diss or anything else like that, but they didn't respond, so the interview didn't happen, right? So I'm in Manhattan, which I'm at on a regular basis, right? Because we're in Manhattan right now. I'm catching an Uber black SUV, and as I'm walking to it, it's like taking a long time because the person in the SUV is taking a long time to get out. And when the person finally gets out, it's Saucy Santana. Saucy Santana just happened to be getting out of the same Uber that I was about to catch.
Yeah.
So I see him over there and I'm like, oh, Saucy, what up? It's Vlad from VladTV. He's like, okay. And I'm like, oh yeah, we reached out to do an interview. You still want to do one? And the response was,
really?
And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm out.
Hey,
it was the most
yo, you see,
I didn't even know what to make of it. It was so weird. Hey,
listen, I don't mess with that community. But yo, I'll say this.
Shout out to the gay community. I'm not bashing gay people in the links. I'm just saying this is my interaction with a gay person.
But hear what I'm saying. You can't even really, like, you know what we both thinking, like, but you can't say it. Anyway, I'll definitely say this about, like, Carisha, Young Miami. She, like, I believe a lot of black women is why the levels of homophobia is what it is. As soon as those people who usually have gay friends, right? Because, you know, women always say they have a gay best friend. Let them get mad at a straight dude. They'll try to
call him gay.
They'll try to belittle you by calling you gay.
Yes.
It was interesting when Carisha tried to call me gay. She also used a term that apparently is a Florida term for it's like the F word, right? It's P-O-N. I don't want to spell the whole thing, and because I seen her type it to me, and I was like, "What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's a derogative term for gay people." So I thought to myself, how could you have disdain or even be using those terms towards those type of people if you love who your best friend happens to be. But then it goes into a lot of deeper issues there. It's a lot of coping. I think these people are genuinely unhappy, honestly. And when I'm talking about these people, I'm talking about like Carisha and them and Saucy Santana. Because if I am A, I would never use a term to describe A to disrespect you unless I thought that term that described A, which I am, is some negative shit. So again, once I seen that, I was just like, you know what, man, God bless those people. And yeah, I mean, she said many dumb things like previously in the past on like social media. She had said some stuff about, it was either about like some colorism issue or some stuff like that, like some old tweets. And it came back up and she kind of like trying to clean it up. So, you know, I only look at that to say, hey, listen, respect your best friend. What you're trying to call me, that's what he is. And if you feel that's a negative thing, you should sit the dude with the BBL down, okay? And talk to him and say, I think you're this, and then y'all can figure it out, okay? Now, in a fight, I got the BBL dude. Pause. Pause. Pause.
I had another very viral tweet.
What?
It was my tweet about Nicki Minaj.
Ooh.
Do you remember this one?
Yeah, of course. I like this one.
I dragged you into this one as well.
Yeah, no, you spin facts.
You know, so what I said was this. Now, this happened after the VMAs where Cardi B was there, Nicki Minaj was there. And, you know, Cardi came with Offset, Nicki Minaj came with her husband, and he brought a bunch of his goons with him. So they did a whole video about like, yo, we out here. Offset needs to plan his funeral. I wish a motherfucker would. Rah, 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 rah. Which then triggered him basically being charged with a threat. And now he has to sit on house arrest for up to 4 months.
Silly.
Now, Nicki Minaj's husband has no job and takes care of his kid, takes care of their kid all day, I'm assuming. So he's basically on house arrest anyways. So it's not like his lifestyle has changed. It's not like he can't go out and do his job anymore because he's never had a role, an active role in her music career, from what I understand. He's not her manager. He's not her co-writer. He's not her A&R. You know, it's interesting the way me and Faison Love just had an interview, and he describes men like this. He describes certain type of women like to have male dress-up dolls.
Ooh, wow.
They get these guys, you know, and she was doing the same thing kind of with Safari in a way. They get these guys who have no money, who will just follow them around everywhere, and they put little designer clothes on them and put little designer shoes and give them a nice little watch. Yeah. You know, they carry their purse and whatever else, and they, you know, all the stuff is theirs. You know, I've always been the breadwinner in my relationship. So
it's hard to be
I can't imagine a woman dressing me and everything else like
it's
that.
hard to be with Nicki Minaj and be the breadwinner. She's really up there. But I also say
you can
it's
be
like,
a breadwinner. I mean, listen, Meek Mill was a breadwinner.
Well,
he wasn't depending on Nicki. I mean, she probably made more money than him, but he was holding his own.
I think ultimately that's why that relationship didn't last. I think Nicki Minaj, there are few women who are so alpha in a sense in how they're in a relationship. I mean, she's regarded as the queen by her fans. You think she want to hear a guy who's not in the music industry tell her shit? You think she want to go submit to a dude?
But let me tell you, one of my security guys told me a story. Okay, DJ Self's show. She showed up on his show. This was back when Nicki was with Safari, right? They showed up, and I guess DJ Self asked her, so Nicki, people want to know, are you single? She's like, oh yeah, I'm single. I'm, you know, whatever, you know, I'm still trying to find whatever. And Safari was like, what? Like, huh? And she just violated him in front of everyone. Shut the fuck up. Don't ever fucking speak when I'm doing interviews. Shut your ass up. Sit here and be silent. Like in front of everybody. And you say he's watching this going like, damn, like she's really violating this guy. Like, you know what I mean?
I think that's her typical relationship. You know, I think she, you know, the same type of leverage that most men feel in a relationship when you're the rapper who gets with like an Instagram model who don't got no money. So you're like, yo, your way goes. I think she has a lot of that energy in a lot of her life. Yeah. You know what I mean? She has that kind of almost masculine energy, right?
Okay, so this was my tweet. I said, Nicki Minaj's husband is on house arrest for threatening Offset. Right after that, Nicki previews a song on IG saying she got killers who will pull up and do what she say. This is the same Nicki who threatened to send her husband to Akademiks' house for his comments about her.
And threatened my family.
And threatened your family. The same Nicki who told Meek Mill to have his crew beat up Quentin Miller, which then happened. And I've heard this from multiple people. Have you ever heard a woman scream, "My man will fuck you up," over something she started herself? That's Nicki. If you want to see how these stories end, check out my interview with Travis Rudolph. After an argument with his girlfriend, she sent her brother and 3 other guys to go shoot up his house. One of them ended up dead, another one got shot. Travis was charged with murder, which he luckily beat in trial due to self-defense. To all the women out there, I don't care how fat her ass is or how good the sex is. Avoid women like Nicki who use men as crash dummies like the plague. I said what I said. 7 million impressions.
Hey, I mean, that's the factual statement.
Right.
You know,
and here's the thing, right? What if he said, "Oh, you want to know where I live? Here's the address. Pull up." Her husband pulls up. You pull out one of your 50 guns and blow his head off.
Well, at that point, Nicki would skirt out the conversation, go find a new man. That's the thing, too. Listen, these women always have a new dick to ride. You get what I mean? While one goes to jail, the other goes to hell, the woman is always fucking on the new dude. So, I know women like that. This is a good test. What I've realized is a good test of character for a woman. Or like if you're a guy and you're with a woman, this is a good like gauge of what type of person she is. You know, if in situations she always want to see you crash out. Like it could be like, yo, all right, you walking down the street with her, somebody cat calls her 50 dudes. But she looks at you like, you ain't gonna fight all 50 of them? Right. There's women like that. Or she'll come to you with some trivial stuff, and because she's talk shit for you, she gets mad at you for even trying to calm her down or understand what's going on. Wait, you a bitch.
I had a girlfriend like this. This was early. This was maybe 2004. I had a girl. Listen, she looked great. Body was great. The sex was great. But she had this weird chip on her shoulder. When we would go out, she would just be rude to people. You know, she'd be like she just like, not so much like fight with dudes, but she would like say something really outlandishly rude. And the guy would be like, "Yo, what's the matter?" And I'd have to like step in and be like, "Listen, she didn't mean it that way," whatever else. And it'd be like, yo, the guy, and I would have to calm the situation down over a situation that she started. And it got so annoying after a while that I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Or she's walking around with her ass crack hanging out and dudes is looking and whatever. I'm like, do you understand that this is putting me in a weird situation? Oh, I can't dress how I want to dress? It's like, yo, we're in a relationship. We're supposed to be like supporting each other, not working against each other. And so I've had some experiences and people are like, "Oh, Vlad's a punk." You know what? No, I wasn't a punk. I didn't have to fight anybody because it never got to that point where I would always have to de-escalate things. But being with a woman like this that's expecting you to fight her battles for you because she gets off on this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, again, a lot of women don't know that they're like that too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women think it's on some biological, well, I want to protect her. But it's the difference between having someone who would actually protect you versus
an aggressor.
Yeah, basically having like a pit bull that you have on a leash, and when you say bite, he goes do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I think Nicki's of course like that. I mean, if you were listening to these stories, Nicki Minaj, and by the way, I said this recently. I said, listen, I'm tired of hearing about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj beef. Lock both of them in a cage. Let them fight. We don't want to hear nobody fighting around them. Let them fight it out. Okay, y'all got problems with each other. I don't want to hear you're a tough husband. I don't want you talking about your killers. No, don't ruin nobody's life over the beef with Cardi B and Nicki Minaj is really on some jealousy, petty shit. They ain't really got smoke.
No,
so it's like, don't let other people throw away their lives because you just have power and fame. Y'all go fight it out.
No, I remember the last time you and I talked about this on this platform, and we talked about the situation of Nicki sending her husband to your house or whatever else. And I remember I called Nicki like a coward for doing that. And I remember this one dude, I forgot, this gay dude from Love and Hip Hop. I forgot his name, but he's like, oh, what, Nicki is supposed to fight a man? And I'm like, no, Nicki's not supposed to fight a man. She's not supposed to instigate send someone to go physically get into it over words. They're fucking words, okay? You say some shit about her, she can respond to you, and the ball keeps rolling. At the end of the day, like at the point where you say, I'm going to send someone to your house, my thing is like, I'm getting my guns. Show up to my house. Show up to my house. If you have a beef with me, you show up to my house, I'm going to shoot you in your fucking head. And I've had situations where people have attacked my home before, and I know how I react. You know what I'm saying? I'll catch a body over protecting my home. Facts.
Yo, Vlad, I have a friend who was one of those guys, unfortunately, that gets told by the sister or whatever, be like, yo, go beat up my boyfriend. Right. Who, by the way, they're going to be back with, right? But, it's a show of power. I'm going to send you over to go beat him up. And they get their friends and they go there and whatever. And I'm like, first of all, like the dude had his other friends, so they really got their ass whipped. But he's describing it and he's like, yo, he said that moment before the motherfucker answers the door, he remembered thinking, wait, why am I, like, what's this beef over? Like, he didn't even know what was going on. Like, had zero idea, but he's on a dummy mission. That's what you call a dummy mission.
Right. The Travis Rudolph story is the best example of this. Like, I interviewed
the guy
this
without
man.
his shirt that was knocking on the door.
Yeah.
At some point, if his bird brain didn't calculate that he's on a dummy mission, he like some people are better away from society.
You show up at someone's home that you don't know with your shirt off. And I remember watching the court footage, and his brother was like,
"Yo, Vlad, I wouldn't even. I'm gonna keep it a beat with you. I don't care how much I hate you, unless I'm trying to die. I'm trying to die or I'm trying to kill you.
Yeah.
I'm not showing up to your house. I don't care what beef we got.
Exactly.
I don't care what. Yo, first of all, we live in. Yo, you. I've seen multiple videos. Listen, some people ain't gonna give you the courtesy of opening that door.
They're gonna shoot through the door.
Some people ain't gonna give you that courtesy.
Yeah.
So it's like when you show up to somebody's house, I automatically assume that you are at a life and death stage.
Listen, at the point that I had my home
if somebody
invasion,
knocked on your door and said, "Hey, let's come out in the middle of the street and catch a fist fight,"
not gonna happen.
like, yo,
well, listen,
right?
like, when you talk about paranoia and everything else like that, like I remember ever since my home invasion situation.
Yeah.
Back when I was living in places that had like a keyhole, and someone knocks on my door and I was expecting someone, the first thing I would do is I put my hand over the keyhole and hold it there for a while because I heard of people shooting through the keyhole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, instead of putting my eye up to the keyhole and potentially getting shot in my head, I put my hand up there and hold it there for a little while. See, nothing happens, and then I'll go look. Because I figure if they are going to shoot me, they'll shoot my hand, which I could survive.
Yeah.
But this is some real shit. But this really got me thinking about this whole situation. When you think about the two biggest female rappers right now, in the world, it would be Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Imagine, and these are two mature women at the top of their game who make tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Imagine if they said, this beef ain't about nothing.
You know what's funny?
This beef is about nothing. Let's actually get together and do a song together, do a tour together, do some business together. Like they could potentially increase their net worth by 25% by working together, but it's over a bunch of nothing. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got beat up. No one lost a ton of money. Nobody went to jail. Like if it's not that, then it's not that big of a deal.
So from what I know, and again, like somehow, like, Nicki Minaj fans are like, they're like cancer, keep coming back. It's like stage 4. But I'll say this. They think I'm like on Cardi B's side. And I'm like, no, I'm not on Cardi B's side. Like, Cardi B's just not an asshole. And I could talk to her like a human. Anytime I've spoke to Nicki Minaj, she's threatened to kill me. Okay? So, like, you can understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Like, listen, one person could have a reasonable conversation with you, and me and her have disagreed a lot. Hey, this is what I think. Whatever. All right, I see. Cool. But we're going to leave it at the conversation. Nicki Minaj, yo, I know too much about your family. I could really do this. Yo, you're going to have to holler at this. I know where you live at. Come on now. Like, it's a whole different thing. But from what I know about their issue, Cardi don't care like that. Like she's not actively, if you look at all of these issues, it's coming from the old chick in the room that's now when she walks in, she didn't get enough heads to turn to look at her compared to the newer chick. And all of a sudden,
although Cardi didn't want to fight her at the Met Gala.
Because she was talking shit. She from the Bronx. A chick from the Bronx, of course. Cardi was like, no disrespect. Cardi was like just fresh out of the jungle at that point. You know what I mean?
Didn't Raleigh punch Cardi that night?
Well, that's what
I'm hearing this. Jason Lee is saying that, right?
said it, but apparently he came out and said, that's what he thought. Cardi B,
so it's not necessarily true.
Yeah, she had said back then that in the melee of her trying to get to Nicki, a security like elbow bumped her, and there was I don't care what happened.
It wasn't like a real fight.
Yeah. My thing is, I want the fans to stop talking about two beautiful women fighting, or if y'all still into this beef thing, let's lock him in a room then. All right? Because again, most of their beef, we're now hearing one guy on house arrest, the other guys might be getting investigated. Like, because you know what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Y'all know y'all are known gang members. You know you're in New York City. You know this is after the biggest event in the city for the last few months. You don't think hip-hop police, gang enforcement team is probably saying, oh shit, he has a warrant. Couldn't find this motherfucker for the longest.
And her husband's a registered sex offender.
Yeah.
So he's always walking
Let's
a tight
Google the
wire.
area. Is there a school in the vicinity?
Is there a school in the vicinity?
Like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Again, that showed me how juvenile the streets were. Because if they were 22 doing that, I'd be like, you know what?
Yeah.
They don't know how to handle their emotions. Yeah, these dudes is like, well, the guys that were in that video, I seen a lot of gray in the beard. And I was just like, I don't age shame, but it's like, you guys probably have kids that if you saw them doing that,
a little too old for this.
Yeah, you would be ashamed of them. I would hope you would be.
I mean, look, man, Nicki Minaj married a man that cannot drop off their son at school.
I wonder how that works.
Think about that.
Well, something has, you got to be able to legally drop off your kid. You can't be like, you got
you're
to drop
a registered
off
sex offender. You can't be near a school. You can't be around the kids.
Maybe between the hours of like 7 and 8, you could drop off. Like, it got to be some.
They could probably
imagine
say,
if he was a
he's
single parent.
he's going to be homeschooled, so it doesn't matter. But then again, if you want to take him to a school, you can't drop him off at school. You're a registered sex offender. Like, it's
what about if the school bus comes by the house? Do you have to move? Like, yo,
it depends if someone reports him. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you can get away with anything as long as someone doesn't report you. But I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm not one of them people who, like, some people feel like she should be with this high profile person. I think with Nicki Minaj's mindset, she's with the perfect person for her. I'm not judging who she wants to be.
It works for her. She could bully him around. She could tell him what to do. Think about it. I'm sure there's a ironclad prenuptial. I'm sure that if he decides to leave or she kicks him out, he's right back in the hood, like, you know what I'm saying, in Queens. So I don't know, but listen, it is what it is. I've said what I said. Nicki doesn't really respond to me. I mean, she's mentioned me here and there. I've interviewed her before, but her fans think that I have some sort of whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm just speaking what I'm seeing. I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, everyone makes their own decision. People fall in love with who they want to fall in love with. If they're happy together and it lasts forever, that's great. But at the end of the day, you kind of want to settle down with someone who's your equal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what I found to be a relationship that lasts. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
It's her equal mindset.
There we go.
You have to realize that Nicki's 40.
Equal mindset. That's interesting.
And Nicki at 40 is now trying to be a gangster. Well, if you're trying to be a gangster at 40 and you're a woman, your equal would probably be a 40-year-old gangster. Kind of makes sense to me.
There you go. Okay, well, this one I found to be a little bit weird.
What?
You called SZA a fat mini Lizzo.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I actually think SZA's attractive.
Okay.
I think the plastic surgery she did, fits her. She looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But you, on the other hand, do not. What is it about you and Lizzo? Was it the...
Oh, it's not Lizzo. I like Lizzo.
No, sorry. You and SZA. My bad. What is it about you and SZA?
By the way, I send nothing but love and light to SZA. I think the audience, because I'm so petty and I remember things from 10 years ago, and if I have an axe to grind from back then, I'll grind it. And I'm the person who, like, I don't forget, and I'm always pay it back.
Well, I remember, okay, so I remember she came on Everyday Struggle.
Yes.
And I remember you had made some comments about her.
Yes.
That I think Punch was upset about and she was upset about also.
Yeah, I mean, the people around her, that's their job to clearly, try to do the hoopla and huff and puff stuff. And no disrespect to them, but it just is what it is. So I'll tell you, the year is 2017. We're doing Everyday Struggle. Some of these artists who we're now interviewing, I don't know. I've never seen them. Like, definitely never seen them in person. Some of them I don't know. like even how they look. She was a newer artist at that time. Obviously, Joe Budden loved her, but I didn't know how she looked. The night before I interview her, I'm on a live stream. And I'm talking to my audience, and I usually leaked, like at that time, because my core audience, I'm leaking who's going to be on tomorrow. I said, yo, tomorrow, I got to go interview SZA. I said, I've never even seen a picture of SZA. But, and people in my chat are responding. So they start responding, and they're describing who she is and how she looks. And I'm reading some of these things, and I think some people, they're like, hey, yo, she's like, yo, I think she's like a taller chick. She looks like this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just reading it. Like, you know, it's not like I think it. I'm just reading it. Anyway, the next day we do the interview. By the way, I really liked her. She's from Jersey. I was like, oh, this is good. Cool. Everything's went great. Joe's falling over. Everything's great. She leaves the interview, and like about 2 hours later, I get a call. What did you do to SZA? I said, wait, what are you talking about? They said, she saw a clip of you talking about her on your stream, and she felt offended, and she felt like if you felt like that, why didn't you say it during the interview? Now, I really didn't have nothing like it. So I remember saying, really? I said, hey, I'm trying to speak to her, like, you know, just to really clear the air. You know what I mean? Like, again, what do I get with beef with SZA, right? So then I get told, no. She will not speak with you, and the only thing you could do to make the situation better is go and apologize on the same medium that you disrespected her. Now, granted, I don't even think I wasn't aiming to disrespect. I understand she took it disrespectfully, but I'm like, but everybody was like running around like chickens with their head cut off. Complex was like, oh my God, we're gonna lose a TDE relationship. Everybody's acting like this is the end of the fucking world. I'm getting, that's when I even first spoke to Dave Freestyle, to him, but he's PG Lang now. So anyway, I go back on the platform and I said, hey, listen, y'all know when I have something against someone. I really didn't have anything. I was reading y'all comments. I guess she saw it. Now, I didn't know this about SZA. She's extremely sensitive. Extremely. And I don't think that's this. That's just what it is. So when she heard me talk about, just even read things, she felt offended. Okay, cool. She blocks me. Even though I wanted to have a conversation, she was unwilling. Whatever. Years go by. I mean, I've referenced to Lucy, like, yeah, she got me blocked, whatever. One day, apparently, she's, and I think this is how we bump back into each other. Well, you know, which I don't think she'll ever talk about this, but still. She comes into the streaming world again. She starts doing a call with Kai Cenat. Like, Kai Cenat had a crush on her. I don't know what it was, but they start communicating. I think Kai Cenat brings me up, and I think after the stream, she starts watching me. Everybody's spamming in my chat. Yo, SZA and Kai Cenat brought you up, and SZA blah, blah. And I said, oh, you know, SZA got me blocked and everything. You know, it's been years. I Google her picture, and I said, oh, snap. Like, I'm seeing headlines. TMZ said, oh, she had got a BBL. So I click on the first picture that I see, and I don't know if it was like just clothes after post-surgery. It didn't look the best. Now, I wasn't even clowning her. Nothing. I was just like, oh, okay, all right. You know, people get their body done, whatever. Instantly, she sends 2 tweets, which have been since deleted. She was just like, loser ass niggas still talking about me, blah, blah. And then she posts a picture immediately on her Instagram, which I still think is there. And she says, this is how my body looks if you really want to know. And I looked at that, and I'm gonna be honest, I took it personal because I'm like, it's only so long I could be tiptoeing around stuff when I'm not trying to offend. Because when I try to offend, I do offend.
I'm blocked by SZA as well.
Right?
I just checked.
Exactly. Oh, you're blocked. Exactly.
On Instagram. I have no idea why.
So I'm like, yo, when I want to offend, I offend. And, you know, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not with Complex no more. I'm my own boss. Like, who cares if she'll ever sit down with me? It doesn't matter in my world at all. So I said what I said, and I was just like, listen, and really wasn't only aimed at her. This is my thoughts about women who, all these chicks getting surgery. Most of y'all just fat chicks that's getting surgery. I'm sorry. Y'all fat just like me. Y'all just get the fat chopped off and put it elsewhere. Again, that's what I believe about the whole topic in general. Now, I did say that in regards to her. I'll tell you what happens next. And this is why I feel like I wish we had had a conversation, because if I refuse to sit and talk with you, Vlad, I have to be in a place that your words can never affect me anymore. I can't be bothered by you, but will never engage with you.
Right.
Right? So again, I've been trying to very open, like, girl, I don't have a problem with you. So after I said what I said, which I ain't gonna lie, that time I aimed to be mean. I was just like, let me just show you when I actually do talk shit. I got calls from everybody and their mama. And this is this year.
You said that Punch from TDE called you.
Nah, he didn't call me. He sent he sent a very vague tweet about, he's like, yo, I gotta like something about like checking it. I'm like, yo, bro, this is not no Suge Knight stuff. Bro.
Yeah, you said you're no Suge Knight.
Yeah, bro. Like again, I hate when people put like these thinly, like
veiled threats.
These thinly disguised threats. Like you're not. I don't think we're in a place anymore where you scare someone into submission. You have a conversation with them. That's what you do.
I mean, look, I remember when I interviewed Daylight, and he's, I don't know, signed, affiliated with TDE, something. Right. Shout out to Top, me and him, he called me a few months ago to ask me something. And, my relationship with TDE is essentially non-existent. I did a bunch of interviews with J-Rock when he was first starting out. So I felt there'd be some level of loyalty once the label blew up. But they really, I don't know if they blacklisted me or they didn't want to work with me anymore. But we really haven't got any TDE interviews at all. So Daylight, me and him have this long, really cool relationship. So we brought him back in to do an interview. And he's part of this group. I don't know if you heard about it, but he's part of a group with a bunch of other rappers, one of which is Punch.
Oh,
right?
He's a rapper.
He's a rapper. And I'm like, in the interview, I'm like, well, why is Punch rapping? I mean, he's the president of TDE. He's a little bit older. He doesn't really look like a rapper. Like, I'm like, why is he rapping? And he goes, oh, well, no, Punch, he's that's one of his passions. I'm like, all right, cool. We kept it moving. Why is he taking time out from his real job, what I'm saying, of running this very powerful, successful label, to be sitting in the studio rapping and taking the time out on a project that at that point wasn't very viable? At that point.
Now you got to think how Punch works and how TDE works. They see futures that people don't see.
Okay.
So although at that moment it may have been valuable, but when you're thinking from the perspective of their label and their branding, they most definitely throw curveballs in this rap game that always strike every time.
Not always. I remember Punch did this whole big post about me, right? About, you gotta be, your words could be inflammatory and blah, blah. And he there was this one part, right? And I didn't want to respond back then because I felt that Daylight's situation, TDE, might be compromised by me responding. But at this point, it just is what it is because so much time has passed. But he was like, oh, and Vlad, Black people are multi-talented. They could rap and do a marketing plan for SZA as well. So I'm looking at this going like, yes, there's multi-talented Black people, there's multi-talented white people, Asian people, and everything else like that. But as of this date, people are not checking for Punch as a rapper, right?
Yeah.
You fast forward, 3 years later, people are not checking for Punch as a rapper. So to try to turn this into a racial thing, I'm somehow putting down a race of people because I'm wondering why, an older middle-aged man is deciding to rap when he's the president of a very successful label. Like Kendrick is still on that label, SZA's on that label, Schoolboy Q's on that label, everything else like that. He's off now, right? But back then he was. I was like, it's always just weird to me when people take something specific that I say and they turn it into a racial conversation.
So what I was told, and again, you see, a lot of people find this issue with me. A lot of artists or people in the industry has this issue with me, but it's the exact reason why I'm loved by the audience, right? I'm sorry, I didn't know some of these industry unspoken rules. I just kind of give my opinion about everything. I'm sorry. So for example, all them calls I got, they're like, yo, you talked about Punch. You're not good in LA no more. He controls these gangs. And I'm like, I give an opinion. They're like, yeah, nobody talks about TDE. So they started telling me the complexities of how much power and control and they could do. And I was just like,
listen, TDE is a very successful multi-million-dollar label. They don't have a history of violence. It's not the new death row. You know what I'm saying? These are all intelligent people. Top is very intelligent. He called me recently about something. It was a private conversation about something to do with an artist on his label, and we know each other.
They
so
called
forth.
me like this nigga was Suge Knight, bro. And the whole time I was just like,
I do not look at TDE as Suge Knight or Death Row. Like I said, this is no knock to them, but that's just not how they operate. They're not a violent crew that's out there beating people up.
Well, put like this. I've criticized everybody in the game, and sometimes I've, said things that people didn't like. And it was never this it was like this mystery, like, this is the craziest person you could offend. And I was just like, okay, I guess he's killing me.
I guess I'm dead. Let me go ahead and pick out my casket and, tell my mom. Man, listen, shout out to TDE.
Shout out to all of them, by the way.
Shout out to TDE. Shout out to SZA. I'm a fan of SZA, man. I think her music is dope. And like I said, I think she looks good. I think the surgery actually looks good on her. That's my take. That's my take.
I like SZA. I like SZA as well. And, I'm going to keep it very light and just say, listen, you're in a very tough game. And by the way, you know who called me too? Drake called me. Drake? When Drake called me, I was like, this is what?
Wait, about SZA?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
To say what?
Drake was like, hey, she's a very close friend of his. And it's a very friendly call. It was just like, yo, hey, listen, he was just kind of trying to see like what I thought about it, because he's like, I can rock with you too. He said, they were doing the album at the time, and he was just like, she's affected by things like that. And I guess he was just like, there got to be some middle ground here. And I was just like, yo, honestly, that was an axe I had to grind from a couple years ago. I got it off. I don't have no issue with her. I love her. And actually, I went back on my platform and I said, listen, I'm sending you nothing but love and light, and I'm going to continue to do so. Because, even if people didn't love the record all like too crazy, like, I'm glad that she worked with Drake. I'm glad that she puts her music out. People love it. And, I guess what probably makes her great, just like I said, is probably one of her Achilles' heel as well. She's a very, very emotional person. And
yeah, I mean, those songs that she put out, you could tell are very personal. Like, she's really talking about her insecurities and her pain and her bad relationships and
she's a true artist. Like,
she is, yeah, absolutely.
Because of, I know people, they're very different from what their music ends up being. I could tell, everybody's spoken about her saying, hey, listen, these things, emotionally mess her up. She stays away from certain stuff because, yes, your words could matter. And I was like, yo, man, I'm definitely never a verbal bully. And again, I didn't have an issue with her. So, again, now I'm not into the forced, I'm hanging you off the balcony, apologies. Like, yo, brother, this is, come on, man. Hey, love you, SZA. TDE, I think y'all are a pretty good label. But I'm gonna be honest with you, them extra calls that I was hearing, yo, you're dead tomorrow.
You got a "you're dead tomorrow" call.
No, I ain't get that call. Okay, but it was just everybody was like, yo, woo, you can't. Everybody was just they were just saying it like this is just a label. I was like, you can't say nothing about TDE, and I'm like, why? I couldn't get why. And they were like, well, they connected. Then it was just talking street stuff, and I was just like,
you saw a reason to speak out against TDE.
Probably getting his ass whipped over there. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but I'm saying
yeah, that was an odd conversation.
Well, no, because I remember it was the whole thing. I think I hit a nerve with Punch when I was basically because Dale was like, oh yeah, and everyone TDE successful. I'm like, not everyone.
Ooh,
not everyone. Yes, there are standouts, and I'm sure people are paying their rent, but there's a lot of artists on there that really haven't moved the needle very much. I'm not going to sit there and name them, but look at the roster, and you'll see a lot of artists that really haven't blown up, and but that's any label. No label has all superstars.
Well, it depends on what you call success. If the success level is SZA and Kendrick, it's tough to beat.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's
anyway,
not.
I like TDE though. I will definitely.
I like TDE also, man.
I've never talked to what's the guy? Top. Top. Yeah, I've never talked to him. I just usually see the Punch dude. His tweets kind of go viral, but
yeah,
I like him too. You know what I mean? Listen, he has a voice. I have a voice. I'm in the space of hey. We both have an equal voice, and I could say something, and you could say, "Ask an idiot for that."
Yeah,
ask an idiot. I don't like what he said, or you could be like, "Hey, he's wrong," right? And I could think you're wrong, right? Hey, let's do that and keep moving.
By the time this comes out, the Kanye Ty Dolla $ign album might be out.
Is Kanye West Ty Dolla $ign album?
Yeah, they're actually looking for a distributor right now. Supposed to be out on.
I thought it was just a Kanye album. Ty Dolla $ign just like right.
No, I heard it's a Ty Dolla $ign Kanye West collab album. From what I understand, might be wrong, but from what I was told.
Hey, whatever it is, I'm excited for it. Yo, it's so Kanye's like Batman, like 100% like Batman. Like, yo, bro, he was just catching some head on a boat on the river. Yo, the whole time I'm thinking, he's not even in music mode right now. Like, he got his wife, like, wearing all these type of things. He's walking down barefoot with shoulder pads. The whole time I'm like, yo, Kanye, he's just, like, on a whole different arc and a whole different path. And then all of a sudden they're like, album coming out, like, maybe next week. What? When did he create this? And that's when I start to think, I'm like, Kanye is so much Batman in the sense of he's freed himself from the shackles of music. Like, even Drake. Man, Drake is a hamster on the wheel, and I love Drake. Drop the album, tour, it's music, and he has to try to find a way to live within it. Kanye is almost like, man, y'all get it when y'all get it. I'm going to do this. I think I want to start a church. Hey, let's do my choir. He's so free, and it seems liberating, but that's why when the music comes out, like Kanye's music seems, it's always unique to what anybody else makes.
True.
And whether you don't even like it, you're going to be like, okay, I hate it because I just think it's the worst thing ever. Or you're going to be like, hey, he just went completely left. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. One thing I like about Kanye is how he presents the music. He's the only artist today that I believe treats releasing a MP3 like how these big studios treat releasing a film. He makes it special. Like most of these guys at Tweet
makes a movie.
Yeah, like like he's supposed to be doing like a 80,000 attendee show in Italy. Like they're trying to get permits for it. He's gonna do an impromptu show to debut the album. Just like that's why he always did all these concerts with Donda, right? That to me is just phenomenal, right?
Yeah, no one else does it.
And every time he drops an album and I see the antics and the shenanigans, I'm like, he's trying to run for president. He's not into making music right now. And then, lo and behold,
he drops an album.
Album's coming.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that Kanye, I mean, look, he's in Italy. If he says, here's an 80,000 person show, I'm sure he could probably fill it, right? But do you think that he gets to the point where he has a number one song?
If he could get a number one song?
Yes. Do you think Kanye has a number one song left in him?
What? That's a ridiculous question, dog.
You think it's a ridiculous question?
What?
Considering all the backlash, considering all the
I think we've argued about this before. Listen, and
hold on. When was the last time Kanye had a number one song?
Kanye West is the greatest musician of our lifetime, and he's definitely the greatest hip hop artist of all time when we're talking about music. Now, I think even over pop, because musically nobody can mess with Kanye. Like it's just night and day, bro. Like Kanye is levels and leagues beyond people.
Okay.
That I believe if today Kanye wanted to give a perfect album, a following to what he did with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which so many people just herald that album as pretty much one of his best, he could do it. I think if he wanted to get back in the mode of College Dropout, musically, he's another level. And bruh,
okay,
it's where his focus is.
So let me actually give you the facts now.
Okay.
I'm not talking about can Kanye have an album that goes gold or maybe even platinum. Yes, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I got it. You know, he's a good artist. He can get lots of features. Good, cool. A number one song is special. You have to really get over a big hurdle to have the number one song in the country.
But after you have like 10 of them,
it still requires a huge mass of people to get behind. He's not even
trying to, like, that's why I said he's free. Every artist today, there's no rule that says you need to drop on Friday.
No, I know.
Every artist drops on Friday.
Okay, so
like Kanye released Donda 2 on Stem Player. Most people haven't heard it.
I never heard.
He's dropping albums midweek and then saying it's not finished. I'm going to come back to it,
redo it,
updating it months later.
I get it.
If he put out like like a real effort to get a number one. If that's his goal, he's getting number one. It's easy.
Okay, so let's talk about his number ones, because he has 4.
He only has 4? Solo?
Exactly. See what I'm saying? This is not an easy accomplishment here. His first number one was Gold Digger, 2005.
Okay.
Stronger, 2007.
Okay.
I believe, hold on, I think that's the only 2 number ones that he has in terms of number one on the Billboard charts. Yeah, the US number one, hold on, am I missing something? Gold Digger, Stronger. You know, Heartless was number 2. I think that's it.
I'll let you finish trying to find them.
But I think that's it. I think he's only had 2 number one Billboard songs in his entire career. So, do you think that he has the ability to do a Gold Digger or Stronger caliber song left in him at 40-something years old with all the anti-Semitic shit, without distributors? Because, you know, he's looking for a distributor right now. Like, a lot of labels don't really want to fuck with him.
Here's the thing. You're arguing 2 different points, or you're asking a question about 2 completely different things. Or you're asking about the caliber of song or number one. These days, you don't need a great song to be number one. These days, the charts primarily is ran off popularity. Drake and SZA, name value alone, forget what the song was. The song is mid, right? That song's number one, at least for a week. It still counts as the number one song.
Exactly.
Right? Kanye West is so popular that if he dropped a song and even gave it light promotion, you know, first of all, he breaks the news cycle every few months in being able to control everybody's attention. If he did that with a song, it could be number one for 1 week. The song could be garbage. It could be number one for 1 week, right? As long as it's drama-filled or whatever, it could be number one for 1 week. Now, having a song like when we're talking about Gold Digger is a song that spent a significant amount of time in the top 10, in the top 5. Do I think he can't get one of those? Again, Kanye West is the greatest hip-hop musician of all time.
I mean, I can definitely see an argument for it. Getting a number one song usually requires a big machine behind it. It requires usually a big music video. I mean, think about it. Those 2 songs had huge music videos.
SZA and Drake, no music video, number one. Again,
true.
Again, we're in a time
but there's
now,
also a big tour behind what he's doing. I mean, you got a big label behind what he's doing. There's a lot of behind the scenes that
a number one
up.
song these days don't mean the same as a number one song like 10 years ago.
I get it.
Like, for example, Drake's new album, he's going to either give J. Cole his first number one. Think about it. J. Cole never had a number one. Until now, he's about to get one with Drake. Or it's going to be a song with Drake and Yeet, right? Again, for the first week, Drake is going to occupy the top 20 slots on the Billboard Hot 100.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only person who has done more is Taylor Swift, because she had more records on her album.
Yeah.
But every song for Drake is charting within the top 50. Again, is it going to stay there for a long time? No. Right? It's going to, after a few weeks, it's only going to be like 1 or 2 songs or 3 songs on there. But again, it's all about, because back in the day, this is why it was harder to get a number one. People would have to purchase the song as a CD itself.
Yeah.
Right? Or even on iTunes, just purchase that one song. Yeah. Most times people purchase the album. Back then, if you purchased the album, you didn't actually get credit for those singles actually being sold, right? You got credit for an album. These days, people stream every song. So not only do the streams end up being equivalent to an album, if you stream track 2 a bunch of times, they now call the times you stream track 2 as a sale. So it's way easier to get number one now. I mean, popular artists, I'll say this, popular artists like Nicki Minaj, Drake, they should always go number one first week. If they're not going number one first week with their fan base, it's because they're not marketing right. Like if Nicki says right now she's dropping, I don't know, her next single, let me not even use Drake, next single with any artist, like she should be able to power to number one for 1 week, just 1 week. Now, the true placement of that single is going to be on an average of weeks, because it's going to fall down the charts. All these songs like fall the hell down the charts. You know what I mean? A true number one never goes from number 1 to number 20 next week. Never. Not a true number one. You get what I mean? If you think about like, and this is how you could tell a true hit song, like "Fuck You Mean," right? That was damn near almost the number one song. it's trickled down the top 10 list. It's like at 9 now, right? This is after weeks. It don't go from 1 to 60.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between number ones back then. Like in the club, that's the number one. That shit stayed at the charts like consistently. These new songs, they're here. There's only a few that stay. Like Paint the Red song by Doja Cat staying. But these songs by Drake, I guarantee maybe one of them, he's going to occupy the top 20. One of them next week is going to be top 5. Just one.
Well, I mean, the song with SZA, Slime You Out, went number 1.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look.
And then it went to 12, then it went to 20.
Yeah. I mean, are you surprised as to Drake's reaction over the criticism of this album? Because he seems to be going extra hard at his critics. Like Charlemagne has been catching a bunch of strays. I remember he posted up this video. It was a TikTok video of a bunch of old Charlemagne interviews that I did with him on VladTV like 10 years ago, where he was kind of dissing Drake. What's funny is that those same interviews is why one of Drake's people approached me in New Orleans. Yeah, I didn't tell you the story?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But
You
I
know
didn't know it was over those.
It was over the same.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm looking, and I remember when this happened, and the dude was like, yo, man, you know, I heard he was dissing Drake. And I'm like, I didn't say anything about Drake. I had some guests that said some shit about him. Not me. Oh, like who? Like Charlemagne. Oh, that's on you too. And I'm looking at this dude, right? And he's all in my face. It was
Chubbs?
Chubbs.
Really?
No, wait, no. Chubbs, yeah. Yeah, it was
I
Chubbs.
met Chubbs. He was like a really nice guy.
He was nice when I met him.
Oh.
We exchanged numbers and everything. And then next thing you
man.
know, Drake sends him on a dummy mission. You know, I had my security. I had like a Navy SEAL dude who was like, wanted to go confront them. And I'm like, you crazy? Like, I don't want to turn this into something bigger. Like, no, but he was all in my face until my security stepped in between us and was like, what's up? And then he kind of backed up at that point. But like, as he's doing this, I'm thinking, do you know how many hundreds of video clips I have of praising Drake? Do you know how many articles I have paid out of my own pocket to write about Drake? Hundreds. And you're mad about this 1% of the time that we're saying something non-praising to you. And I remember watching this interview with Drake and Yachty. Remember they did that little thing on the beach? And Drake was like, yeah, you know, I had to accept at one point that I'm just not going to get universal love. And I'm like, this dude is really thinking he's going to get universal love. Like everyone's just going to love him across the board. And it's just like it's weird to me. And listen, I've listened to this new album. I've heard it, I've listened to probably about maybe 7, 8 times all the way through. It doesn't seem it's on the same caliber as his other albums. Every artist at some point stumbles a little bit. And I feel like this is Drake's first stumble, which I think why he's so sensitive and why he's lashing out. His dad is lashing out, calling everyone a bunch of old haters, even though he's older than everyone he's talking about. You know what I mean? But it's like, like this album, there were songs like What Would Pluto Do was like, this is not a very good song. The Yeet song, I understand why it's popular because Yeet is hot to death right now. But as a Drake song, I don't know. I know he's chasing after the hot dude right now, which is what he does a lot, but I don't know.
I'm a little bit shocked by not him being sensitive about criticism about his art. I think every artist is like that. And I think what usually separates Drake is that you just never see it, right? And he seems like, like so confident that even if you don't like it, he won't even respond to it because in a few weeks you might change your mind. And this is the first time I think, he's kind of checked a few people like, yo, are you hating on me? And I don't know. It's like, I felt like it was almost, who we see that a lot from? Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj does that.
Oh, no, constantly. And here's the thing. Like when I first met Drake, I remember it was the Beats by Dre party. It was outside. And everyone's kind of coming in and out. Like everyone's there. This was like the most epic party I've ever been to. And Drake is walking past me. I'm like, yo, Drake, what's up? Vlad from VladTV. He goes, oh, yeah. Man, stop talking shit about me. And I'm like, Drake, we love you. What are you talking about? And then when I saw him again in New Orleans, I'm like, yo, what's up? We took a picture together. And I remember I talked to, was it 40? Not 40, but the other dude, Oliver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, man, we cover you. Like, we should do an interview. Oh, yeah. Talk to my manager, Oliver. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Vlad. We know who you are. It was a very cold kind of thing. And I'm like, can I get your contact? Here's my email. So I'm like, okay, there's already a weird thing here, but I'm like, you can't be mad at this 1% of the time.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
You know, like we really have supported you a lot. Like you can't be mad at this.
Drake deservedly has probably the right to have the biggest chip on his shoulder about hip hop media. Not necessarily one individual in particular, but what artist has really came from the bottom? Pause. Like and really came from the bottom, made it to the top of the game, and there was a time that he was ridiculed like it was going out of style. Like a lot of people were ridiculing him, saying he was soft. Some people said he was gay, right? And probably not you, but I think he's had a strained relationship with media in general. And I think at that point, maybe it was the mentorship of you know, Birdman, Jay Prince, maybe Wayne. You know, Wayne never responded to anything. Wayne was in a different world. He didn't say much. And actually, sometimes it would bleed out. Like, I remember he had said something about Charlamagne on Tim Westwood's show, saying, he's like, yo, you have these like these radio nerds talking about, you know, I look like a light-skinned thumb with eyebrows, you know what I mean? Like, and see, that's old Charlamagne. That's old Charlamagne was killing him.
I know, Charlamagne, I remember when we talked about this. Charlamagne, in my interview, he said there's gay, there's straight, and there's Drake.
Because I always say it's 3 sexual orientations out here. It's gay, straight, and Drake. And Drake is just a whole different type of breed. It don't got nothing to do with nothing other than he's just a different type of breed, man. Stop being so sensitive, dog.
Yo, Charlamagne was killing him, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Charlamagne got some bars.
Yeah, no, Charlamagne back then was a savage. Yo, so anyway, and I think with Drake is that ever since he passed that $1 billion plateau in terms of money he's earned from his music, you know, even how he said to Joe Budden, it definitely felt like something that I would say to, like, I wasn't like, I don't give a fuck. I say I wasn't popping in high school. But now I go to a strip club. I went to a strip club in my old hometown, and the cool guy broke his shit, drinking a $20 Corona. I'm over here throwing money all over the place. He comes over, he's like napping me up. He's like, damn, you're doing great for yourself. And the conversation I'm having with him changed. It changes because when I used to even try to interact with him when I was in high school, like it was very different. So I think that's where Drake is definitely at mentally. But also, I think there are some things, because as I said, it's Nicki-esque to do it on social media, right? Like, Drake will send you a DM. Like, if he really wants to let you, he'll send you a DM. Him doing it publicly, that felt a little Nicki-esque. But then I start wondering about, is it because the criticism not only is about the music, it's about him and the inevitable, which is him aging in music.
He's aging. No one stays hot forever. Like, I'll be honest. I think this is my least favorite Drake album, and I am a Drake fan. You know, and I remember. Listen, me and Joe have our differences, but I respect what Joe has done, and you know, I know that he has a certain level of respect for me as well. My interviews get mentioned on some of his podcasts and everything else like that. But it's like, you know, Joe said that Drake was like threatening him in DMs. Crazy to me, you know. And I remember when Joe said something about Cardi, he didn't like the new song Bongos, and she gets all mad, and he's like, well, don't talk about the one time I said something negative and not talk about the 500 times I said something positive. It's a very annoying thing to be in media, because it's like, I'm not your PR. I am not going to just praise you on everything I fucking do. But if you look at my track record, I am not a hater. I'm not a hater of young, old, medium, middle-aged, whatever.
Well, sometimes it's a thin line, though. Like, these artists, they start reading into your critique and they think it's personal. Like, for example, Drake had hit me and he said, because I was criticizing, like, the direction of the album as well. And he hit me and he was like, yo, don't tell me, because the night of the album coming out, he called me the night before on stream. And he said, yo, tomorrow when an album comes out, because I know you're going to be listening to it live, I'm going to call back into your stream. You know, obviously he got tied up with some stuff. He didn't call in. And I remember when he first hits me about my critique, he's like, yo, I hope you're not mad about, like, don't tell me you're mad over the fact that I didn't call in. So he's looking at my critique, which isn't personal.
Right. He put that on a story recently. Goes, oh, how, you know, At one point, we just got to accept that all these criticisms are really based on personal situations.
But if you go to the Cardi B and Joe Budden thing, I think Cardi B probably looks at that situation and be like, well, yeah, it's fine if you say you don't like the song, but then you basically get personal and diminish my whole art. You're saying, oh, get the writer back. Oh, whatever. This ain't like I think she probably was like, damn, so you're just saying, I'm just trash. You get what I mean? So I think that's where she goes at it. And I mean, he told me that about Joe. He said, listen, Joe could not like the music, but if Joe is going to say like, yo, while you're hanging with the little niggas and fucking the 25-year-old girls, you know what I mean? Like nobody want to be described as like that old dude in the fucking Honda Civic just waiting outside the high school. like that's the creep. You feel me? So I think like he even seen a hint of that, and he's like, nah, let me check this shit right now. And I think you do become a little bit more sensitive to that as time goes on, right? Because that becomes something like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, you know my favorite diss of Nicki Minaj is call her old. You know why? She used to call people old. And for a lot of women, they use the age thing to validate. I always tell people, I'm so glad I'm in the media. Because I don't look at and say Vlad's old. I want to be Vlad's age and doing media at a high level. I want to be Howard Stern's age and doing media at a high level. That's amazing. But in hip hop, they'll shame you about age.
No, I remember what was it? At one point during the Grammys, I guess Nicki didn't get nominated, and no Grammy for Granny was tweeting. It was trending.
Yo, once they start putting that on you, they start looking at every situation you're in, and they start put a different context on it. Like for example, there was an artist, and he rapped about it. Millie Bobby Brown. Apparently, when she was like 14. I guess he may have texted her and was like, hey, listen, you're doing a good job type shit. Like, yo, strictly nothing weird. But when they start putting like, oh, this is the old man shit on you, it's like, why is this old man texting a child? These are kind of peers in the industry. It's not like it was inappropriate.
Yeah, man, listen, I remember when that little girl Jazzy started to pop.
Yeah.
I DM'd her and I said, listen, please tell your parents that, congratulations on what you pulled off. And if you ever want any advice, please get your parent on the phone and, I'd be willing to share information. And I remember she responded and her dad called.
Yo,
what I'm saying? But you have to be very careful when dealing with underage people because you don't want to come off as that.
And like I'm going to be honest, and I guess I'll say it here for the first time, that young lady, she's like 14. Mm-hmm. She's getting her feet wet in the media game. She's messaged me saying, hey, thank you for, reposting whatever. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you, just based on the age disparity, I don't even want a motherfucker. Like, it's like, I just look at it, I'm like, let me click off of this thing. Because again, and I think that's why I think, Drake is getting to that point where they're trying to put him in a box as, remember when Jay-Z used to be like, yo, that's Grandpa Hove.
Yeah.
So I think people are starting to look at Drake as, yo, I know your nickname is The Boy, but at this point, we're kind of saying like...
The middle-aged man.
You're the middle-aged man.
Yes.
And I'm going to be honest with you, the content of music, the content I think he likes to make is not middle-aged man type music.
No.
It's, I'm still going through certain shit for the first time. I'm having a blast. And it's not necessarily age specific, but that's kind of associated with usually younger people. So I even heard Joe Reed was like, yo, why are you chasing after a 21-year-old in the club? And it's like, and I'm like, yo, I'm pretty sure that's not even a real experience. Like Drake, you think Drake goes to the club like that and is like looking at girls?
No.
Like Drake goes to the club and everybody looks at him.
No, but the thing is, for example, having Yeet on his album, I thought was just weird. Because those two don't sound good together. They don't rap alike. They don't complement each other's styles. He went and got Yeet because he's the young, hot dude. And that's it.
This reminded me of a conversation I had with someone, which it's just bore to be, I feel like it's happening as we speak. But when Drake dropped Tootsie Slide, his audience was really split on it. They were like, yo, like, what type of music? This is TikTok music. And there was critique about him dropping Tootsie Slide. And the person said to me, Drake's at a fork in the road. And by the way, I've hijacked this guy's point. I act like it's mine now. He said, Drake's at a fork in the road. On one side, he could continue to chase the youth. And the youth are on TikTok and they like doing dances. And they like these new flows and new styles. He could chase that. However, those new fans, it'll keep him relevant, but those new fans won't ever love him more than they love the current crop of people. Like,
Correct.
for example, the new NBA Youngboy, the new Yeats. Like, they'll be like, yeah, I listened to the Yeet and Drake song, but they're never gonna say, oh, their favorite album this year is Drake. You know what I mean? They're gonna say it's Yeet.
Yeah.
They said, or Drake is gonna have to age gracefully with this audience.
Right.
Which means understanding that the people who support you the most and have been there the longest, they don't now, if you're making content like, you know, one of my favorite Drake lines, you know, in terms of showing vulnerability, he was talking about, yo, you know, he's fucking up on a double cheek kiss, like, you know, at these like public events. And it's kind of like him being nervous and a little awkward, but he's getting through it. But it's his first time doing things. And I think for every dude grown up in life, there is that moment in your life where you're like, okay, you're in these new situations. Everybody who was listening to those music, they got kids now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, have you seen those little animations about the Yeet Drake song? The little cartoons? Hold on a second.
Were they making fun of the song?
So basically, we can't show this because of copyright reasons, but basically, you see Yeet just kind of sitting there, you know, with no expression, doing his lines, and then Drake like gushing on the court, like
You know,
like,
you know what I see? I see like a baby face guy with the guy with the beard behind him, like look like they should.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, unfortunately, Father Time is something that's definitely undefeated.
Yes.
And I do think, you know, these conversations are gonna happen because again, people are gonna look at Drake. You know, there was a time that Drake would not have any features, or if he did have features, it'd be like he's collaborating with like Bun B,
yeah,
Rick Ross. Those would be
Jeezy.
those would be the features that would make his album.
Yeah.
Right? I remember even the album More Life. One of the reasons I didn't like it as much, I was like, and by the way, I still don't think it sounds ridiculous. I was like, how does Young Thug make a Drake album? That's what I was thinking then. I'm like, Drake usually has his own sound. He used to have a sound that he would get on your remix and you sound like Atlanta, but his album don't sound like Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay? He sounds like Drake. Like the Yeet song sounded like a Yeet song.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like a Drake song, but it's on Drake's project.
It was a weird moment as a Drake fan. And like I said, sometimes, look, like I said, I had a negative experience when it comes to Drake. I'm not going to approach Drake next time I see him because I'm assuming that it's not cool, right? But with that, I'm still a Drake fan. I still talk about him. I still listen to his music. I still stream his music. I still promote him. So stop taking shit so personally all the time. Like, you should be allowed to criticize certain things and praise other things. Now, if I was just a hater all around, everything Drake does is trash. Every song is garbage. Throw the whole thing away. He can't dress. He's dumb. No, but I don't do that. Like, at the end of the day, I'm a Drake fan. I think he's one of the great artists of this generation. You know, I have my criticisms about the whole thing about not speaking about Israel, but that's just a footnote in how I feel otherwise. So, but listen, it is what it is, and people are going to act like they act. Me and Drake don't know each other. He doesn't DM me. We don't talk on the phone,
the last
et
thing
cetera,
I'll
et
say
cetera.
about Drake is that I also understand him a bit. He has never said this to me, but I do believe that, you see how we're passionately talking about his music? Sometimes fans over time lock you in a box because we feel so intimately about the music that we feel you should be doing what we want. And that becomes, I think J. Cole was there for a while. I think people were looking at him like, we only want you to rap about woke shit and rap about like Black Lives Matter stuff. And I think he was breaking that image when he would jump on like the remixes of like Moneybagg Yo's song. And like, I think he wanted to get out of that box. And I think Drake might just want to break that, like, even though his core fan base, like even his older fan base, they're going at him. But I think he does not want to be locked in to, oh, you have to only give this type of music. He is an artist at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. You tweeted, damn, they gave my dog Tory Lanez 10 years in prison, a whole decade.
Yeah, 10 years, man, long time.
You know, we broke the story. I spoke to a lawyer that works in that court system in LA, and he spoke to someone in the prosecution, and they said they offered him a 4-year plea deal that he turned down.
Had to, right?
I mean, they don't have to, but yeah, that's the story I heard.
He pretty much had to turn it down.
Why?
Well, if he takes a 4-year prison sentence and he's not a citizen, he instantly is going to get deported.
Correct.
Like a lot of him going about this case is his immigration status. Like, for example, look at 21 Savage. He's now a citizen.
Yeah.
He had unresolved cases for years. Why? Hey, you want to hope these things go good, but if you get found guilty, and he didn't think he was going to get found guilty, if you get found guilty and you don't have citizenship yet,
that's it. You're out.
You're getting out of here.
Yeah.
So Tory probably got offered that and probably was just like, hey, listen, I think this case weak. I'm gonna take the chances. Now, granted, like, we're playing, Monday morning quarterback, but he was definitely in a tough situation. I'm pretty sure, and this is what I was thinking, he would have taken a year or like right under a year. Anything he would not, he wouldn't get deported. But then there's this other element. What he would plead guilty to. Keep in mind, he's also thinking not only about his freedom, which is the most important, he's thinking about his citizenship and status in the United States, but he's also thinking about his career.
Yes.
And if he had pled guilty, right, which that's what Chris Brown did, right? Chris Brown pled guilty to the charges that was pretty much synonymous with assaulted Rihanna, and he's now known as an abuser for life, right? Now, again, obviously people, like, they know the story, but again, I think Tory knew this is a death sentence if he pled guilty because he already was not getting playlisted, and the powers that be told him, right? We can't support you with this allegation going on. So it probably put a battery in his back to say, I got to fight this. Because if I take the 4 years, or if it was something that won't affect his, immigration status, he's like, my career is over anyway. So I think those are the mitigating factors that probably had him thinking about it a bunch. But, 10 years is a long time. It's a decade, man.
I mean, yeah, and I interviewed 1090 Jake. He said that Tory's going to have issues in California state penitentiaries.
Why did he say that?
Well, because he said that celebrity doesn't matter when it comes to gang lines and racial lines. If shit goes down, they don't give a fuck if you're a celebrity. If you're a black, you better start stabbing somebody along with the other blacks. You know what I mean? Or else they gonna stab you.
You don't have the opportunity to be the celebrity in there. If you're a general population and it pops off, you're required to get involved. You have to pick up a knife. You have to. It's mandatory. So the situation he's in now, he has to basically forget about being a celebrity.
So it's an ugly situation because there was a rumor that he was going to be in general population, and Megan Cuniff just said that's not true. He's actually being transferred, I think, to a supermax, and there's no general population or whatever else.
Ooh, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had spoken to his team. His team was they were actually saying that he wanted to be in general population. And
well, it's a lot more fun to be in general population, but it's also way more dangerous.
Yeah, because I hear that he was on 23-hour lockdown, and that, obviously could mentally affect someone. From what I hear about Tory and what might be his prison experience is that Tory, while being free, was one of them guys who he wasn't gangbanging or nothing, but Tory connects with people. And Tory is connected enough where people are going to be looking out for him. So he's not just in there like just this lone wolf. Now, granted, who knows? It might get to a situation like, for example, we've seen, but I think that was a federal case with Kodak Black. Kodak Black admitted on Off the Record podcast when I interviewed him, he said, he's a Zoe, but in the federal system there ain't no Zoes. So he started banging with the Bloods, and that's his thing. Who knows? Maybe Tory starts aligning with a gang. Who knows?
Or he just pays people protection money and calls it a day. You know what I mean? Which is a form of extortion, but listen, you got to get through your time. People think I have something against Tory. I have nothing against Tory. I've just been stating the facts over what I felt was an obvious thing, which is he shot her and he's going to jail. You could dance around it. You could say, oh, gunshot residue, this, lying, this, whatever. It went to court, and what I predicted came true. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy to see anyone go to jail. And I remember I talked to Boosie's lawyer, and he was saying how if Tory was his client, he could have gotten 1 year plus like 5 years probation, easy, because he would have jumped in right in the beginning before Megan was cooperating, before Megan was upset before he dropped a goddamn album dissing Megan.
Hey, if he had addressed it before Meg cooperated, different story.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, I do wanna because this is, you know what's your favorite line is, man? Is you calling Tony Yayo, man. Like Tony Yayo told me I ain't never see somebody go to court. What's the line?
Somebody saying you shot him and they still alive and they willing to take the stand. In my eyes, you're not gonna beat the fucking case.
Yeah.
I never seen that in my life. Somebody saying you shot him and you taking it to trial.
Everybody pleads
We just
out.
seen it.
We just saw it. We saw what happened.
No. I said we actually. So there is an exception to the rule because
Exactly. And we saw the outcome of it, a decade.
No. I'm talking about Blueface. Blueface is to skip jail. He shot the guy. Yo, the guy showed up to court after getting shot in his hand and said, "Yo, I know people that yo, I don't mean to laugh at the dude, but the dude who got shot showed up to court and said, because obviously, Blueface did the smart thing. He took the plea, right? But
he didn't take it to trial.
Oh yeah, he didn't take it to trial.
You're right.
Yeah,
Proves my point.
Okay,
Antonio's point.
He didn't take the trial.
He took a plea deal.
Yo, the guy shows up and the guy says, "Yo, people get more time for stealing TV."
And he was doing like selfie.
Takes a selfie. Oh, man.
No, listen,
all right, you're right. All right, you're still right.
I'm still right.
He didn't take it to trial.
Imagine a Blueface blue trial.
Yeah,
Blueface blue trial. Anyways,
which by the way is a suspended sentence. He's usually kind of into stuff.
Don't fuck up.
He's on 2 different probations. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
for 2 different.
And you got crazy ass Krishan around him, so God knows what the fuck gonna happen.
This is why you like, some men, like, you be dealing with a toxic woman and it's like always exhilarating. Here's the thing though. When Blueface got into it with her last time, you know what she said? Yo, I just wish God would just bring you to jail already. Like, I just hope yo, how you wishing jail on your father or your child? Like, yo, this is crazy. Then 4 days later, she was tweeting about having sex with him. Come on now.
Well, speaking of relationships, what happened at the Dave Chappelle show?
Oh, okay. So I'm at the Dave Chappelle show. Nothing. That was like severely overblown. At the Dave Chappelle show, first of all, I'm just a comedy enthusiast, so I'm there, whatever. But also, I didn't even realize this. I don't even know if there's. I don't think there's an age gap for Dave Chappelle, right? But anyway, the person I'm with, they, I think they were whispering, or just plain out talking. I'm ignoring them. They're on live, and I think a woman says something to them, and we're in the suites. We're like in the box suites at the Garden, and a lady comes who works at the Garden and basically says, "Hey, listen, first of all, it's a Dave Chappelle show. You have a phone out, which because
he doesn't allow any phones.
Like you're a little bit like." So basically, they had to address the phone situation and also like get them to stop arguing. Ultimately, we left like shortly after, but it was just like,
I mean, you got kicked out of the show in a way.
No, I didn't get kicked out.
But the girl you're with,
she got removed. At least from a section.
Is this the same girl who put you on blast before and everything else like that? I'm the prize girl and all that?
It's been a lot, Vlad. It's been a lot.
Because remember, during the last incident, I said, is this relationship over? And you said, I don't know. And I said, yep, I can see where this one's going.
Wait, this is Vlad's been a lot, man.
Listen, man, I'm not here to give relationship advice, but I mean, you don't see a pattern, a problem, anything like this all seems normal to you?
No, it's not normal. Hey, listen, I'm definitely one of those people who I'm always probably one of my if I had to like character traits that's probably like the weakest thing about me is like I give second chances a lot, man. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I do it in just all facets of my life.
Really?
Yeah. Like there's been times people have done stuff and I didn't fire them, which everybody else fires them for. You feel what I'm saying? It's like I try to like I've done it with a lot of people who would be friends. And they do something that kind of crosses you, but then, you know what I mean, somehow you kind of, like, I remember one of my homies, like, which I just think, I think it's kind of like on the unforgivable spectrum. like, but this is in college. Like we were trying to, like we both were kind of like interested in the same girl. And I remember I ended up hanging out with her one day, and she basically repeated some things I said about her. I said, I never said that about you. Of course I'm lying. And she said, yeah, you did. And what I got to find out is that my friend secretly recorded me. We were living in the same house. Secretly recorded, like he would bait these conversations out of me, secret recorded it, sent it to the girl, also like all type of stuff. And like, I mean, at that point, it's like, if you have a friend who's like doing low down shit like that, it's like, you know what I mean? I should have not fucked with him again, but you know what I mean?
You still fuck with him.
Give him a chance, man.
I mean, listen, you record my phone calls and put them out, we're done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
am I too forgiving, Vlad? Is that what's going on?
I think so. You know, I mean, listen, I mean, I've never said this before, but now it's going to be out there. Me and Turk were cool, right? He had been on my show multiple times. There was an interview that came out this one time where he was talking about like, everyone plays gay games. And, there was that whole gay games little thing that he's talking about, how in prison, you just mess around, whatever. We put it out, and he had a problem with the title or something. And I'm like, all right, cool. I can't talk right now. I could text, but, I'll call you a little bit later. We'll change it if you have a problem with it. And then I remember we got on the call, and, I explained everything to him. I'm like, yo, let's not fuck with you. We go back and everything else like that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, we'll bring you on the show. I'll even give you an appearance fee. Like, it's all good. Like, I'll fuck with you, and we brought him back on, everything else like that. And then my man was like, that Turk recorded that phone call of yours and put it on his YouTube. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. And I looked, and sure enough, that phone call was on YouTube. So I'm like, I don't got beef with Turk, but I'm not going to bring it back on, because if this is what you do, I just can't rock with you. If I can't have a serious conversation with you, I can't, like, like, over the phone that you're not going to broadcast, I can't communicate with you anymore. If I can't communicate with you anymore, then I don't know how we could continue any sort of relationship, business or personal. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've forgiven people, like, I like stole from me. And like, I guess I have to
I've done that before.
Okay, I have to understand.
I've
you
done
know what I mean?
Before.
But like, I don't know. I'm generally kind of forget. It's to my own detriment, right? Because at a certain point with, like, for example, say you have an employee, right, and you keep forget. Like, at some point, you're fucking up your own shit, right? Or if it's a spouse or like a girlfriend or a family member, sometimes you'll forgive certain stuff, and then it'll turn into almost abuse, right? Where now you're tolerating things that maybe you shouldn't. So, I mean, that's something obviously I'm self-aware of, but, at least where it currently stands, man.
Still with it, huh?
No, we aren't in a relationship at this moment. Okay. But you know what I mean?
The night is still young.
The night is still young.
I mean, look, you're how old now?
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. 32.
Okay.
I'm about to go to reality TV with this bullshit.
Serious?
Of course, man. Not playing.
I mean, you have no kids.
Yeah.
Do you plan on having kids?
Yeah.
Do you plan on getting married?
No. No.
Really? Why not?
Hell no.
Why?
Man, marriage?
You haven't met the right person yet.
No. I won't even say it's that. It's like, I don't even believe in marriage.
You haven't met the right person yet. There's going to be someone you meet that 1 + 1 will become 3 with that person. See what I'm saying?
We could do
your combination with that person will get you much farther in life than 2 of you, or you and that person working independently. There's going to be someone that complements your weaknesses and who you respect enough to get their opinion on things.
That sounds like an amazing relationship.
Yes.
That sounds like an amazing long-term girlfriend. Everything in life, I'm watching people get divorced left and right. Why are we even doing this shit? Jeannie Mae and Jeezy, divorced.
but that was no fucking surprise.
Like Jada Pinkett Smith, she's fucking the ghost of Tupac and August Alsina, like okay. Wills of, like, come on, man.
That marriage was weird already. But what I'm saying is, look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, look at Swizz and Alicia.
You know what I've learned? And as you say that,
I have been to Swizz's house.
No, hold on. As you say that, what I've learned is that the relationships we think are the best are the ones we know the least about. You know why? Because there's issues.
Yeah.
There are issues.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Exactly.
The ones we think are the craziest one is just like, we just keep hearing about it, right?
Yeah.
Again, like, has been, like, we would have never knew that Jay-Z cheated. We'd have never known.
Yeah, until the elevator video came out.
Now, I thought he was trying to get somebody's number. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean,
I'm like,
but
Jay-Z a slick
regardless,
nigga from Marcy, man.
Regardless, see, the thing is, though, is that Jay wouldn't be Jay if he wasn't with Beyonce. Beyonce raised the caliber of how he is viewed. Swizz Beatz was the hip-hop producer, but now he's with a global R&B icon, and now people look at him differently. It opened up different business opportunities because there's doors that Alicia could walk through that Swizz was not able to walk through, but if they're walking through the same door together, then that door is open.
Well, but you're talking about two different marriages where it just happens to be that their spouse ends up really complimenting them on a business level. But like, that's usually rare.
Well, no, because
you know what I mean?
they don't.
Like,
No. Because what business does Jay-Z and Beyonce do? Yes, they had that one album together, but they generally have their own careers. Beyonce's not part of Rock Nation. Jay-Z's not part of the Renaissance tour, apart from just being on the sidelines.
You got the best rapper and the best R&B chick. Like, come on now.
No, I mean, listen.
Like again, they compliment on a level like that, right? Yeah. Like this is why people are looking at Drake and be like, oh, you're the best rapper and the support star. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, but in reality,
right, and look at that. Drake is not with her at all. And Drake is basically floating around and just doing who knows what. And look, if you look at most successful men, step outside of hip hop a little while, because hip hop is sort of a weird place. But if you look at most successful men around the world, they usually have someone in their corner, a woman in their corner that really compliments. Look, 50 Cent has a long-term girlfriend now. He was a bachelor forever, but now he has.
No, I'm not saying like,
name one really successful man who's
you
been
get
successful.
The most work done selling down. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just talking about this compliment thing you're saying. Outside of hip hop, that is true. You're right.
Yes.
Like, you're not gonna see a CEO dating a chick from McDonald's.
Exactly.
Right? But in rap,
or an Instagram model,
a chick with a fat ass is definitely dating the or at least she's getting flown out by the rappers. You know what I mean?
Getting flown out and actually being in a real relationship is something that's very different.
But in hip hop, the dynamics are so weird. Again, you're not gonna see the top rapper or whatever date like the top female executive. No, he's dating the baddest bitch. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, right, because I think it's
especially athletes. So in sports, for the most part,
yeah.
I mean, some of them go after supermodels.
Not really.
But for the most part,
not really. LeBron's wife is someone he's known since high school. Pretty lady, but she's not like a Instagram model or whatever else.
And Steph Curry's relationship, which salute to both of those are the rarities. Half of these niggas is knocking up straight up smuts off the ground. Let's keep it a beam, man.
Right.
And some of them end up marrying them, get jugged up, child support, all type of stuff, and try it again. Come on, like again, in those fields of entertainment, we don't see.
But you don't see.
We don't see marrying across.
But
at least social
the
status.
People that are actually at the top. I mean, even Michael Jordan, he got divorced from his long-term wife, and he got married again to that Spanish girl who he's been with ever since. Like.
What was she doing? See, that's not a compliment.
Well, you don't know.
Nigga, I'm making every sneakers on everybody's feet. You don't, what is she making? She wasn't with that nigga shooting in the gym.
Right.
So there is no equal for like a Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm saying. Jay and Beyonce.
I think there's no emotional equal. Like, this is someone who he enjoys spending time with, who he likes to do things with, who he likes talking to, who he respects their opinion. And so forth. And if you're sitting there, I mean, listen, man, like,
but that's where I separated them.
I've easily, let me see, like, I've dated hundreds of women, because at one point I'm like, okay, look, I'm taking this dating thing like a job. Like, I remember in my building when I lived in Jersey, I was like, the doorman, I was like, you're the king of this building. Every night there's a different girl coming in. Like, I was really looking for somebody. But in the process, I had nightmares. I had women chasing my car. I had women like threatening me. I almost lost my life once fucking with this one girl. Like it was just, whatever. Guys jumping in through the window. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I've had so many disasters along the way, but that goes with dating and constantly rotating new people into your life constantly over and over. You don't know who the hell these people are. Yes, they look good. And yes, the sex is cool. And yes, the first couple of dates are a lot of fun, but you don't know who this person is. You mean they're representative. And if you constantly keep rotating new humans into your life over and over and over again, as opposed to having one person that you know who they are character-wise, you are going to progress faster in life.
I definitely believe in that.
Most of my progress in life happened during relationship times, not during single times.
Facts.
Seriously.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, again, I think
I'm a relationship guy.
I think the marriage thing is I'm just not into the institution of marriage. But
in terms
of,
Were your parents married?
Yeah, they were. They divorced. You know what I mean?
After how long?
Probably like 10 or 15 years. I don't even know how long.
Hey man, that's a good run. 10 or 15 years is a lot. They had children. They raised the children. Look how you turned out. You may not have turned out that way if you had a single mom. Seriously.
Listen,
I don't know your family, so I'm just talking.
Yeah, but again, for me, marriages these days, man, hey, like a lot of things that used to happen back in the day, man, like we have to adjust. And I don't think marriage is, or the institution really means the same anymore. I do think it's obviously important.
You're speaking from an outsider.
Huh?
You're speaking from an outsider. You've never been married.
Well, I mean, the majority of them are failing.
You've never been married.
The majority of them are failing, Vlad.
Here's the difference between marriage.
Vlad, you would never jump out of a plane if it say, 70% of the people who jump die. Like, come on, Vlad. Yo, the percentage
you don't
of
die
divorce,
when you get divorced. You part ways. But I'll tell you this: there's a different level of responsibility. When you're married with someone, you have joint bank accounts, you have children, everything else like that, as opposed to someone that you're dating. Whoever you're dating right now, if she farts too loud in the car, you could say, I'm done, it's over, I'm never gonna see you again, I'm gonna block you, and I can never have any sort of interaction with you ever again. When you and that person have a joint bank account, have a house together, have kids together, have a long history together, it makes people want to work things out a little bit more. Like, okay, yes, I'm mad at you and you're pissing me off and what you did was over the edge, but I can't just walk away. There's a process that's involved. You know what I'm saying? And that makes both people say, okay, well, let's at least try to work it out. Let's maybe go to counseling. Let's just take a little bit of time and cool off and so forth, which when you're dating somebody, it's just not even there. So yes, a lot of marriages do fall apart, but I bet you those marriages last longer than if they were just boyfriend, girlfriend. And sometimes, man, like, you have to be appreciative for however long the marriage lasts. Yes, your parents divorced after a certain time, but they had beautiful kids. The kids came to America, and I don't know how your siblings did, but you became a multimillionaire.
Vlad,
so,
listen, I've told every woman I've ever been with this, man. I don't sign a motherfucking contract without my lawyer being present. If you think I'm finna get, that's a contract to me.
It's called the prenuptial.
Listen, I don't think, first of all, people don't even believe in God no more. Like, we living on hell on earth right now, man. We living in the last of days. Marriage made sense when it was really under the covenant of God. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know about that.
Like people ain't really with that no more.
I'm not co-signing.
So because people ain't with that no more, I look at it just like a contract and a business deal that is supposed to affirm a love that should be there. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think there's any type of, at least benefit. I'm not saying there's no benefits to it, but no benefits that I would like desperately need to do it. So it's like,
you're planning on having kids with a baby mother. You are planning to have baby mothers in your future. This is what you're saying?
I didn't say mothers. I said mother. You get what I mean? Yeah.
Well, but your baby mother, you're not married to her. You technically could. You feel free to have other kids.
No. All right. So
unless you get a vasectomy.
Me personally, I would like and I think most people, like, you would want to have the mother of your child mother all your kids.
Exactly. Yeah, but if you're not married to her, it probably won't go that way.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean? Boosie even said.
These days, marriage is a piece of paper.
Boosie said his one regret was that he didn't have all his kids with one woman.
I remember you did some red carpet interview,
And they said, do you have any regrets? And you said, well, I wish I had done skeeting all these different women.
Right.
I wish you just had kids with one woman.
Right.
Which they used to do back in the day. I mean, how many Jacksons?
I wish it was like the old days.
You know, like the Jacksons was what, 7, 8 kids?
Man, my mama them had 9.
Yeah.
My other grandma had 8, you know?
Yeah.
That's just how it was back then. It's just, you know.
Yeah, no, that's
TK Kirkland told me the exact same thing. And he has like 8 or 9 kids.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it up.
All with different women. Like every one of his baby mothers is different.
Yo, I do not want to go out like young boy and them niggas. I
Yeah,
don't want to have like
boy,
8.
it's insane.
Yo, dealing with one woman is ridiculous. Dealing with
look at Nick Cannon. Do you think Nick Cannon is happy about his situation?
He be making his commercials now. He be looking happy. I don't know if he really happy.
Listen, regardless, those kids that are being raised in all these different households with all these different mothers in different cities and everything else like that, it's not an ideal situation. And they're not going to come out as well adjusted as someone who lives in a house with both parents like you did and how I did. Okay? I mean, it kind of brings me to the topic of Brittany Renner.
Love
Who
Brittany.
we have both interviewed.
Yeah.
She said she slept with 35 men. Shannon Sharp lost his mind. Like, oh, he fell out of his chair. And I'm like, is that really that high of a number? 35?
I'm gonna
Like,
be honest with you. I don't know if people have adjusted. And again, that's what I'm telling you, like, the times have changed. I don't think people have adjusted to this new date marketplace and just how people treat sex.
Yeah.
Like, people, like, even women. By the way, all of this city girls culture, like, it's been deteriorating what females, women used to grow up thinking that, you know, like, sex was a big deal, making dudes wait. These days, it's like, wanna link means wanna fuck.
well,
You know what I mean? It's like,
Tinder kind of changed the premise of people meeting up.
yeah,
You can literally swipe left, swipe. I've never used it myself, but I'm saying, like, you can literally sit there and just do a meat market and just zero in on a human being around you and they're both with it and y'all go fuck or whatever else, right?
listen, typically and traditionally, men were the ones who were rabidly trying to chase sex and women were the gatekeepers. Like, no, you have to meet these standards. And usually they would require a relationship. Some even require marriage. These days, 2 for 20, you're fucking. Okay? Sorry. Like, it just is what it is. Like, give a chick a 444 meal, it's over. So, you know what I mean? You get a flight. So again, what I'm not mad at Brittany for saying that because Brittany is one of the few women, like, if you ask a girl a body count, bro, trust me.
She will lie.
And again, women are programmed. They're not lying because they're deceitful, just whatever type of human
there's
beings.
a negative stigma attached to a high body count.
So they will say a number to you that will not eliminate them from your consideration to maybe be in a relationship with them. So I don't know why Brittany says it publicly still. That's the thing. Like, we probably assumed, like, we definitely knew of like 6 names that were famous people. She named some other people in the book.
Yeah.
But when you put the number on it, and the number is higher than any other woman will admit, you seem like the outlier and the whore in the room. When in reality, all of these girls are doing it.
Listen, to all the young men and even the older men who are watching this right now, you know what's more important than a high body count? A clean STD test. That's what a man really needs to worry about. I don't care if a woman slept with 100
hold on,
men.
Vlad.
Hold on.
You said how many?
100.
Oh, you wildin'. Now you tweaking.
I would, okay, so let me ask you a question.
You tripping.
Would you rather would you have sex with a woman? 2 women. One of them says, I've slept with 100 men and here's a clean STD test. I am totally clean of any of HIV, gonorrhea, herpes, whatever else. Or here's a woman that says, I've slept with 10 guys, but I haven't gotten tested ever. So I don't know. I may have something, I may not. Who knows?
So if you're asking me sleeping,
you have to make that choice right then and there.
No, if you're asking me sleeping with, I'm smashing them both. You get what I mean? Now, if you're asking who would be in the running for me to take serious for a relationship, the woman who fucked 100 dudes, there is no possible way. Like we can't even, like, again, I'm definitely not buying a cow when every nigga done had the milk for free. It ain't happening. So again,
So if you date, let's just say a 30-year-old, okay? A 30-year-old who has been sexually active for, I don't know, since she was 18, for 12 years. 12 years, 12 months in a year, so 144.
Yeah.
So during those 12 years, once a month, she gets with a different guy.
That's a whore.
That's a whore?
If she could meet a new nigga, remember, she's not recycling, because, you know, a lot of these chicks love the same dick.
Right.
If she find a new dick every 30 days before her period could come on,
this is probably not the best example. Like, I'm actually starting to, I need to get off this hill right here, because I'm definitely dying on this.
That's a whore.
I'm trying to save myself on this hill. Okay, that's kind of, okay, 100 is probably kind of a lot, but then again,
hold on.
My body count is in the hundreds.
Hold on. If a woman tells me, right?
What's your body count? Do you know?
Nah. But if
is it over 100?
I wouldn't even like to think about it like that. Like, damn, have I done that much? But probably. But like, I don't think about it like that with me.
I'm 50. My body count is in the hundreds.
Damn, like, you fucking a lot, man. You see, even as a guy, when you say like
many hundreds,
let I play this. I wouldn't like say I was at 1,000. I wouldn't brag about it, because even it feels like there's this one dude I know. He says, "Yo, you ain't get no bitches if you ain't catch an STD." I was like one of my friends said, he's like, you're not a player if you never caught an STD. I'm like, nigga, what? So again, like, no one would want to think about, you know, even a guy, like, you know what I mean? I'm hoping I ain't do that much. You know what I mean? Again, obviously, bro, as long as you're not a virgin, my nigga, like, you're good. But if you think bragging about fucking thousands of girls, I'm just thinking you've been exposed to everything in the book.
I mean, look, I interviewed TT Boy, the porn star.
Yeah.
He slept with 10,000 women. And he broke it down mathematically. I pulled out a calculator and now he was a porn star and then he owned a porn company. So there was the whole porn performance stuff and then there was the casting couch part.
He had the possibility of being like Genghis Khan.
Yeah, pretty much. He only has one kid too, last I checked. You know what I mean? He used to pull out king. You know what I mean?
At that point, he must got some
10,000 women, and he's dead serious. And I know him. He doesn't lie about this type of thing. A porn star is not going to brag about how much pussy they got.
True.
Okay.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm realistic. So, for example, all right, if I meet a girl you give me an age, it don't matter.
40.
All right, well, I'm not dating chicks older.
30.
I ain't gonna lie. If I meet a 30-year-old,
yeah,
and she told me
35.
She told me she had 35 bodies.
Let's do the Britney Spears number. Britney Renner number. 35.
There's a possibility I would take her serious.
So 35 is a reasonable number. But 100 is ridiculous.
Bro, 100 you are tweaking. Because here's the thing. This is the arc for most women, right? They usually start out and they're usually slow. And they have a boyfriend, this and third. But every chick pretty much goes through the whole phase where they got that one summer they fucking indiscriminately. And that's where they're gonna rack up the majority of their body. Some of them go through this phase when they've been heartbroken. Some of them go through these. And again, if you're just trying to find, like, go to India and find a virgin motherfucker if that's what you want, all right? You're gonna have to accept reality. And I think us men, we want to be lied to, right? These women are fucking. So again, I'm looking at it like, yo, you had 2 whole phases. You now 30. Now, here's the thing. What matters to me more? Your sexual past really in the last couple of years. Have you been the girl that is going to the club just getting fucked by some random dude who got a section, or have you been in relationships? You get what I mean? Now, if you've been in relationships, then, you know, okay, cool. That tells me and gives me the confidence that, number one, I think you're more likely to be loyal. Also, shit, we already know you hitting that wall, so you definitely about to calm your ass down. But also, I'm looking at your palette of sexual experiences that I'm not judging it like, yo, you're just fucking a million people. So I'm a little bit realistic with it, but it definitely matters. Like, I'm not wifing up a chick after she said she done fucked. If she's at 11 bodies, but she fucked 10 dudes in the last month, it's qualified. You know what I mean? But with 100, I can't do nothing with you.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'll be 101, but you cannot be.
I mean, it's hard. See, at some point as a man, when you get older and you start looking at life realistically, you have to start
100.
You have to stop getting off the double standard. You know what I'm saying? And if it's like, if you have a man that slept with 500 women and he gets with a girl who slept with 100 dudes, and both of y'all is really like know each other sexually and you guys are at a sexual level that you know what I mean? Because I also think most men don't want girls that don't have very much experience. You know what I'm saying? Like most men don't really want virgins. I mean, I know I was never really keen on that. You know what I'm saying? But
it's not a double standard. I look at it by a numbers game. There's more women on earth than men. Of course, men's like, supposed to have more sex than women.
51% and 49%. It's not.
Man, listen.
No, it's not no 7 to 1.
No.
Like
Hold on. See, now you're gonna have me sound like one of these little red pill niggas. But we all know. You see, most women are only fucking 20% of the guys. Like they're usually going for the same guys. Yes. Men actually spread out the type of women they're able to accept.
Men don't fuck anything.
So again,
men don't fuck the McDonald's worker, the trash lady.
So I expect men to have the average guy to have a higher body count than the average woman.
Right, because men can't get pregnant.
Exactly. But here's the thing:
taken out for 9 months.
We just don't want the outlier girl who just is the whore. That's the thing. Like we just want the average girl or the girl that might be a little bit more modest. That's all you're looking for when you're selling down.
Look at your boy, Freddie Gibbs. You know what I mean? He went and got with the girl with the high body count.
I think he was trying to have fun, though.
And it seemed like she was loyal to him. He was the one that left. It seemed like he had a girl that would fight for him. Literally. She put hands on people when he was getting jumped.
Yo, Vlad,
he still left her.
I'm about to get on the drug. Are you serious? She's loyal to him, and she's a porn star slurping up dudes.
While she's pregnant. But
no. But she was doing scenes at first. When he met her, she's still doing scenes. How's she loyal, Vlad? Your loyal girl just slurped up a nigga? Come on now.
Adam 22.
I chalk that up to some white people shit. I keep saying that. That's white people shit. I know you don't do that. But
I don't do that.
Hey, I've been trying to, there has to, you know how they say, they've been saying this about a few people. They said, definitely this Sergio Brown dude, he's nuts. But they say, yo, somebody got to do a study of Antonio Brown's brain because they be thinking we got to do a study of motherfucking Adam 22's brain because, bro, I'm telling you, like, he either, I don't know if money could ever just make me just be cool with that, but I don't know.
Well, you know that Selena Powell is either did a scene already with Adam or is about to do a scene with Adam.
Good. Good.
Were you guys in a thing at one point?
Yo,
why do people refer to her as your ex?
Have
you ever slept with Selena Powell?
No, yeah, I did.
You did? Okay.
But here's the thing. And I don't know why she hates when I clear it up, because she actually hates when I clear it up. I'm going to tell you why, like, she embraced that. But first of all, she slept with hundreds of, let me not put a number, because she won't get mad at me and try to whatever. She slept with dozens of rappers, right? Then, again, when I met her, really, she came here to sleep with 6ix9ine. She just, she was just fucking anything walking. I slipped and just like, she was around my, whatever. Anyway.
You slipped in the pussy.
So here's the thing. The reason why they call her my ex, first of all, she used to be on my stream. So, like, she used to come to my stream to kind of, like, talk about, like, the Wakas and Offsets she was fucking of the world. Then she started using me. She said she's in love with me. And because I was the only one really ever seen embrace it in terms of showing her love or support, because, we were really good friends. Everybody then believed we dated. To this day, I can't convince people that we didn't date. I did do one thing, which I realized fucked me for life. She calls me up, this after OnlyFans popped off, and she's getting mad money. She calls me up and she says, when she first met me, I had this G-Wagon. She said she's going to buy a G-Wagon. And she says, I want to make the blogs. I said, okay. She says, I'm going to post up, thank you for buying me. The car cost $186,000.
Yeah.
She bought it herself, but she wanted to go viral. She says, I'm going to post it up and said, you bought it for me and you know how to treat a queen like a queen. Now, my stupid ass is saying, I never really got love on the Shade Room like that. I'm like, let me think about this real quick. When she posts that up, and this is the time of like little baby buying. So all these women want a dude that's going to buy a car. I'm like, my DM's about to explode. I said, post that shit. I mean, my DMs did explode. Like every girl from here to Montana, they're like, oh, you buying G-Wagons?
But did you actually buy her a car?
Nah. But here's the thing. Me doing that, the headline is always better than the full context.
Yes.
Now I can't convince nobody that I didn't buy the car. So I can't convince nobody that I wasn't with her. So I'm hoping Adam
that's a
fucking her.
$186,000 pussy right there. That pussy must
hoping that-
twirl around and
Yo, I'm
rainbows
hoping-
come out of it.
I'm hoping that Adam fucking her will start to kind of, you know what I mean? That's why even with my, like, you know, other women I've dealt with, I'm like, yeah, y'all get a little clout because I gotta, they'll act like I'm still her boyfriend. I'm not her boyfriend.
At some point, though, you know, listen, I was around, you know, Corinne Steffens, you know, a.k.a. Superhead. She's an attractive woman.
Fuck her.
No, absolutely not.
Sure.
Absolutely, 100%. I'll take a lie detector test over that shit. Yeah, I even drove her, after our interview, I even drove her back to her place. Dropped her off, that was it. You know, if she wants to tell a different story, she's welcome to, but like I'm saying, like, I never touched her. Because she wrote books about all the men she's had sex with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She puts men on blast. This is what she does.
Hey,
and I knew that if I ever did anything with her, I would become part of the story. And I don't want to become part of this story. So you knew Selena Powell's track record. Remember she had Snoop? She was filmed Snoop and he's married and everything else like that. Like, you knew that having intercourse with this person, they're always going to have something on you.
So, first of all, anytime I've met her, I search her better than TSA. I'm taking 8 phones off of her. Like, ain't nothing like that ever happened. But anyway.
You're not taking her mouth off her.
I don't know. But I'm going to tell you how we end. And this is me being very honest. Again, I met her. Remember, we're friends. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm over here. I'm calling her a hoe all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we be joking around with each other. Like, not even flirting, really. We just always just joke with each other because I'm like, damn, you be fucking all these rappers. I swear, this is before OnlyFans. I never even knew girls were that big of a whore until OnlyFans. These bitches, they are soulless. I used to think of women a different way. When I met Selena Powell, everything you saw, that was her. It wasn't an act. I thought it was an act. Whole time I'm thinking it's an act. I thought I was going to meet her in person and be like, and she'd be like, you know I didn't fuck half them dudes, right? Yo, she came on to me. Yo, she was aggressive with me. I'm like, yo, I've never seen women act like that, which, by the way, most women act like that now. So, again, that's how I fell into that trap. And I was just like, I'm a guy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Listen, I get it, man. I mean, sexual attraction is sexual attraction. Men are weak. I mean, I've had sex.
I heard about you in Cat Stacks.
Cat Stacks?
No, I'm playing.
I've never even met her in real life, actually. Our interviews have been remote. I've never actually even met Cat Stacks.
Oh, you interviewed her? Oh, shit.
I did, but yeah, back in the day, yeah.
That was cute from Will Star's team.
I stand, listen, like I said, but I understand that we get caught up in moments, but certain people are so notorious for their actions, like a Selena Powell, like a Corinne Steffens. I remember the dude that she was like fucking with at one point, like went on Instagram and said he's gonna kill himself.
Ooh. Oh.
I forgot what this dude is, but he's still trying to get that post removed because he's trying to go on with his life and he kept trying to like get it removed or whatever. But it's like, yo, you posted the shit. It was on your Instagram.
I'm gonna be honest though, the era of that is over though. Like I think like people have just embraced sexuality so much where like we even have artists now who have OnlyFans. Like sex is being thought of as, you know, something completely different.
Yeah, Sexy Red, for example. Her sex tape came out.
Exactly.
I feel like it only made her more popular.
Yeah.
You know, apart from her pussy not being pink, you know what I mean? Because she claimed in her song. I mean, that's the only thing that people were jabbing at her for, but who cares, honestly?
We're in unprecedented times. I mean, like, Blueface and Kershaw sex tape leaked on the timeline and they talked about it for 2 days and moved on.
Nobody cared.
So again, if a woman is running around having sex with a bunch of rappers or athletes or celebrities and they're like, ooh, I'm about to tell, like, you won't make a reputation off doing it. Now, granted, if you slept with Jay-Z and you're going to say it, people care. But if you're just trying to get famous now off of sleeping with multiple popular dudes, it's like, it's played out now, though.
Well, yeah, but there's also the extortion aspect of it. You know, I don't know if you heard about the whole De La Hoya thing. You know, remember the whole fishnet stocking thing and everything else like that? Because from what you know, from the documentary, I guess he had paid, it's either $100,000 or $1 million or something like that. Hold on. Yeah, that's what I thought. So basically, when these photos, you know, surfaced, you know, De La Hoya got these photos sent to him and said, oh, you know, we're about to release these. He paid $1 million for these photos to go away. As soon as the money transferred, they got released. He tried to say that they were fake, they were Photoshop, but then ultimately he had to admit that they were real. So, you know, extortion is a real thing, and people will try to extort you over videos, photos, whatever the fuck else.
Man, I think we live in really a new time, man. Like, honestly, again, I think people have to realize, and this is how fame actually works too, where like, again, Kim K could not have blown up right now. Like, oh, you had sex with, like, there's this chick who everybody likes. Her name's like Overtime Megan or whatever. They hacked into her iCloud. Like, they leaked those type of sex tapes. Her with even some popular people. Yeah, she gained like
Overtime Megan.
Yeah, she like
I've never even heard of this person.
She works like.
I'm about to Google it.
Yeah, so she probably gained like maybe like 100,000 followers, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Like, moving on to the next thing. You get what I mean? So I don't think people care that much about like sex tapes, and I think OnlyFans really kind of like. Do you know Lil Pump has several sex tapes on OnlyFans?
No,
he has orgies on there. Yes,
really?
Yes, Tyga is on there, fucking all type of Kim Kardashian lookalikes. Yes,
really?
And I'm trying to say, I'm saying this to say
nobody cares.
Nobody cares. You get what I mean? Like, obviously they're probably making their money, but this isn't like, yo, everybody talk about this type of thing anymore. So it's like, we're just in a new time.
Well, then again, Adam and Lena made over $1 million off that one scene.
That's why, interestingly enough, and
that's almost, he said that was the most best-selling scene since like the Kim Kardashian.
It had to be multi-millions.
Yeah.
I think close to 5.
Yeah, I don't know. He just said over, he admitted to over $1 million. And he said Lena just told him not to say the exact number.
And I understand why. I am interested to see if the one that they did with Selena, how well it does. I don't think nearly as well.
No.
The reason why,
well, because
he played off of a taboo of one of the biggest fears of men
cuckold.
Is your wife being fucked.
The cuckold.
You get what I mean? I don't know if you could create that. That's so difficult to create.
You know what's actually funny too is remember Jason Love was sort of going back and forth with Adam a little bit over, fucking his wife and everything. And then Adam was like, yo, don't make me expose you. I got something big on you.
Yeah.
Adam told me what that was off camera. It was actually pretty interesting. I'll tell you what it is off camera.
I mean, what do you have
I'll
on a porn
let
star?
the people guess.
What do you have on a porn star? Like, the dude probably did a gay scene or something, right?
No. You're not going to guess it. It's actually pretty funny. But I'll say this. It kind of takes away some of the bragging rights. But I'll just leave it at that. I'll tell you off camera. Last question.
Yeah.
You and Erykah Badu.
Yeah. Axe to grind. That's all it was.
So it started when she came on Everyday Struggle and she said, you look like Jerry from Tom and Jerry.
No. So I got to set it up, Vlad. So she walks into the room.
Yes.
First and foremost, like, again, I'm meeting a lot of these people for the first time. She comes with like mad sage, like incense. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sitting like, again, some of these people, I really be thinking it's an act. I've heard some of these dudes say one thing on a record and you meet them in person and be like, yeah, that's just for that. We have to be on one spiritual aura, like walking. I'm like, what the fuck is this chick doing? You get what I mean? Anyway, so I'm there, like she's like, yo, let's hold these little incense sticks while we're doing it. At that point, I'm like, I'm trying to have her like me too, right? Like, because you want to be a likable person. It's the first time I've ever met. And I'm like, so I'm feeding into this bullshit now. And she cleverly, I'll give it to her. She cleverly was like, I thought she was gonna tell me like some Miss Cleo shit. You know what I mean? She did. Yo, you look like Thomas from Tom and Jerry, and yeah. Anyway, that happened, and I remember like I didn't really care too much about her, even whatever. But I seen her make a few like vague references and kind of like retweet people in the sense of, oh yeah, I got that bitch ass nigga, and I was just like. I'm the best with this gotcha shit, right?
She said that.
No. It was how she was carrying it. I wasn't mad at the show at all. Like, if me and you are making content, especially for my show, and you get a viral moment or you give me a viral moment, nigga, I'm finna get paid. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons Everyday Struggle's popping because of all these things happening. I'm not mad at you, right? Like, even if I sat down with Vic Mensa?
Yeah.
Like, other than I thought, like, you really want an issue, at a point, so like obviously you're gonna keep the distance from a guy who's talking violence, right? But then after we realized it ain't nothing, we sat down and we did my podcast.
Me and Ellie Chopper.
Ellie Chopper.
We got us on the phone.
Content, right?
That was Ellie Chopper's biggest interview ever because of the drama leading up to that interview.
Exactly. So with me, I wasn't mad at the show. What happened after the show, obviously social media turned into a thing. Like I would see her kind of like repost and like certain shit with it. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to get you back, but I'm going to get you back in my content. You know what I mean? Now I ain't going to lie. That was on the heels of, I don't know who I went at right before. I was feeling hateful. And I kind of went in on her, but she took it in stride too. She took it in stride, and she dropped some incense. Which by the way, I want to shout it out. She dropped some incense and she put the Tom and Jerry mouse on the thing, and she
called the biggest pussy.
Yeah, and it sold out. Good for her. I made my money. She made her money. Hey, I'm good. There's again, I don't really take stuff personal like that, and also I realize I'm like a memeable nigga. That's one of the reasons I'm famous.
You're memeable.
Yes.
Do you have memes of you?
What?
Let's look this up.
Yo.
Well, I know the one like at the with the Migos. You're kind of clicking around.
Yo, Vlad. What I've realized, and this is I realized this over time. The moments you feel the most embarrassed about end up being the most viral moments, and I learned that from that BT red carpet day. You know what I mean? Because we were having a conversation, the one with the Migos where I'm doing this, and I was telling them, bro, I sound stupid because I didn't have in-ears, I couldn't hear him, so I'm saying, what would you say, what you said? I said, delete it, fuck it. Like, it already turned almost into an altercation, let's delete it, let's not even put it out. And they were like, no, let's put it out. And it took 3 hours to convince me, and I agreed, and as soon as we hit, I think, tweet or upload, viral instantly. Ever since then, I remember walking to a strip club and a stripper sees me and says, you're the meme. I promise you. I was never been described as that. But it's a blessing in disguise because, like, what does that do? That gives you a bigger profile. That gives you more facial and name recognition. Yeah. I went on Everyday Struggle for people to see my face. I used to do YouTube videos where I was a voiceover, right? So, like, I wanted to get that accomplished. Well, congratulations. Maybe not in the way you want to, but listen, God don't wait for how you want it to be done. He won't get it done on his own time.
No, listen, you have to, what I've realized over the years, and I used to be very funny about this, it'd be like, if there was sort of a fucked up moment, I'd just cut it out, right? But as time went on, I realized you have to kind of sacrifice yourself to a certain degree for the content. You know, like when Tony Ye told me to shut the fuck up.
Motherfucking crutches and shit.
50 got stabbed that day, right? He did get stabbed,
Vlad,
right?
shut the fuck up with that shit.
Okay.
I could have cut that out.
Yeah.
Because technically this is a man insulting me, right? But I'm like, no, I'm gonna run with this because this is actually interesting. Like, you know what I mean? He told me shut the fuck up, and I'm like, all right. And we kept going. And look, that became Tony Yayo's biggest meme ever. Like that face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now they put the dog next to it also sometimes. Like, that face gave Tony Yayo a whole second career.
No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because I decided not to cut that out.
Yeah. And that's why I say like, you know, about the, you know, Erykah Badu situation is like, yeah, I don't have ill will towards it neither. And by the way, I'm glad, like, you know, her stuff sold well. Like, if it didn't sell well, it would just mean that, again, I don't know how much my or like the playing off or whatever with me helped, but she had my real name on it too, on a chain, like a Livingston. Oh, it was good. It was good.
Well, she got your name on a chain?
No. So the mouse had a chain with that said Livingston. Yeah. Yo, it was good, bro. I'm sorry. Like again, one of the hardest thing for me to do at first was learning how to not get offended every time I was the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
And like, cause my own audience used to like, you know, like they used to be my comment section, like even joking on me. And then I realized I was just like, bro, this is the internet. People are coming to this shit for a release. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, to the point that I do a lot of self-deprecating jokes. You know
and a lot of times when you insult people, when you insult them back, they're like, yo, bro, it wasn't even that serious. I'm a fan. Like, what the fuck? But, you know, and listen, Erykah Badu, now that I think about it, is my favorite female singer of all time.
Really?
Yes. I could say this, that Erykah Badu's first 2 albums were some of my favorite R&B albums ever.
You got some good music, man.
Yo, when she came
Erykah,
out,
I love you, baby.
I love you,
It's
baby.
not that serious.
Listen, I've interviewed DLC, who she has a baby with. I interviewed Carl Jones, who they were dating for a while. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yo, how many rappers like entertainers she got a baby with?
3.
Damn.
Andre 3000,
Holy.
the DOC,
Don't she own like J
Jay Electronica.
Oh.
Yeah, 3. 3 baby daddies, all rappers, all good rappers. That's that.
Like, she could bring her baby daddy lineup to the battle rap.
You know what's funny though? I remember because VladTV used to be in the Universal building,
Yeah.
and Motown was like kind of down the hall. I remember I was talking to my man about this, and I'm like, oh yeah, because she was like on a promo run or whatever, and you know we couldn't get her, and I was whatever. But I'm like, yeah, you know, Erykah Badu, and I'm like, you know, she got 3 babies by 3 different rappers. You know, is this you know, is this like a groupie kind of thing? And she's like, and the dude he just looked at it, he said, actually, they're probably groupies of her. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a good point. I'm sure a lot of these dudes, she was actually bigger than most. Well, she was. I mean, Andre 3000 is a little bit debatable because they were both hot at that point. But matter of fact, Andre got hotter after he got with her. So actually, in all 3 of her baby daddies, she was the bigger entity. Absolutely.
I mean,
100%. Yeah, now that I think about
yo.
Listen. When she had a baby with Andre 3000, that was early Outkast. That was like before like he got into the whole green hair. This is way before Hey Ya.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He became all like open and shit after her. You know what I mean? She dated Common for a while. Common became a bigger artist after her. DOC had already lost his voice. So he was just a writer at that point. She was still the star. And Jay Electronica, they had a baby before he started to really, I forgot what that big song he had. Remember that?
Exhibit A or something?
Exhibit C. This was before Exhibit C, they had a baby. So, and really, people like to say, oh, she's a rapper groupie. No, you could really say that these dudes were groupies of her, you know, and DOC, I don't mean this in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? Me and you were cool and you did my show recently. I don't mean this in a negative way, but obviously all I'm saying is that these men admired her artistry, her celebrity, and everything else like that.
Now you put it in context, I see why she's selling incense talking about this is the smell of Badu pussy.
Exactly.
I guess it's hitting.
I wouldn't know.
That shit.
I wouldn't know. It's what it is. DJ Akademiks. Till next time.
Till next time.
Peace.
Till next time. Peace.